but I think it kind of makes sense. Veer comes in from the challenger scene. You have 3 players from the challenger scene as well, so it's normal to play here this double controller matchup. So let's head into the Samsung OLED match start and kick off this piss round. And again, focusing on what has been played a lot in challengers in North America was that double controller. So going into the comfort rules for C9 is a great start, at least for Veer, to veer the ship around.
And it'll be comfortable. They start defense on every map, even if we go to the third of Summit here. So just being able to shoot, kind of putting that onus on Loud to make the first move, and that'll be towards B to get that action started. No trades just yet, just a bit of damage. And Tikazine takes it upon himself to get a third now, sliding right into the arms of Jack. How did he even get that third one? Loud is fully in control of B.
What a big entry by him as well. Finally gets shut down, but this is going to be a very difficult retake for both Vic and Fireball Ups. Thankfully, they still have a Paranoid to work with right now, but the post plant scenario is just perfect here for Loud. They just have to focus on the right side of the site. They can have a super late lurk by the activation of Luke Show into the garage because the wall's not being broken. They know exactly where the rotate's coming from here from C9.
They let him make noise. Oh, can't even get past that just yet, so they have to turn back around. Now Vic's taking damage. Really nice chaos being created by Loud's util, and just silent walk around. Fireball, okay. They're able to get a lockdown on that situation, and the pistol goes to Loud.
Yeah, great little start again. All thanks to TKZine opening up with 3 beautiful kills. And again, if you're looking at him moving up to the roster here for Loud, he was also owning here regionally in the LATAM, top ACS here in the region, and the reason why he's being picked up, for Loud. And the last time that Loud also played this Neon here on the map, yeah, they did have a nice victory for against Leviatán, but overall they also had some struggles too, and finding ways to try to activate Verde into these sites. But for TKZine's second time Neon on the VCTs, he's looking pretty good.
Quickly broken dart on C. Zelsis just comes over a little bit of util. Stack here for C9. They're actually looking for a util to come through. You can see Vic's turned around, but gets that call that the dart's already been thrown, maybe? And a smoke towards A. So they're just holding off, seeing if they can set a trap where Loud would walk in as close as they can, and C9 does as much scrappy damage as possible.
The Scrap is definitely thinking for a B-side hold here. You already see the position of Vic trying to play, breaking the recon dart, one playing anti. They have also Fireball Ups' flash to try to fight into this. And so far, it's a pretty decent read. Look at who's coming knocking at the door. It's 4 players from Loud at the start.
Well, up, ball down. They saw people on both sides of this B entrance last time. Tikazine still pushing through. He goes down, actually, to Oxy. They're picking up a few upgrades, but
huge upgrade. It's a Phantom there in his hands. That's pushing now Loud away, and if you're looking at Loud side, they still have a Vandal to work with, but now all of C9 are grouped up. They can maybe pick up a second weapon if it's been dropped there.
Left.
And as you can see here, there's only just a Phantom, but they're definitely going to rotate that rifle around here to give it to Zelsis at full HP and try to work together for the C side.
And he's the last one in line. Just body shields in front of him so they can get it. Wait, they don't even need the Phantom just yet. Can they get the use out of it? Jack with the classic.
Uh-oh.
10 seconds left.
10 seconds left. Vic only has a Sheriff, but he could wait here for the plat to go down and try to find his timing.
Vic had a lot of these clutches previously. This is nothing new for him. Going to take it slow to get himself walked in here after hearing Luke Show make a bit of noise. And he actually starts movement pretty early here. Quite a bit of time on the spike still to be able to go in slow. Oh, so close.
The advantage is there for Luke Show, 100%.
Get the smoke out. Oh, all that Luke Show still with the steady hand. Knows he just has to wait for a quick peek. A second round for Loud. Good damage, though, coming in from C9.
It's one of those little things, though, here that C9 and Zelsis has talked about a lot and numerous times with other interviews here is they can't really close out the rounds. They always have the right reads, the good fights, but when it comes down to sealing the round, they can't really do it, and it comes down to that 2 versus 1. As the trades come in perfectly, the reflank from the garage, the openers that you had from Oxy, you still had that extra person swinging in a little bit too early and not with Vic to try to trade out against Luke Show, who, of course, with the Marshall could do some serious damage already, but good damage. It's only a low buy that you have now for your bonus round, and already Vic on the top of the C box is going to score first.
Smart play. I mean, they're trying to use all the little tricks early here so they can just play a base game if they can get enough rounds on the CT side or on the defensive right. So the defense next map as well, they'll play the same thing. And Luke Show with the push. Doesn't expect Jack to be right there. A good cover by C9's defense. A little line of scrimmage on that backside helps them get these trades.
Nice that they're super proactive around the map here. Look at the position of Moxie. That's the reason why Jack was already able to come towards that A-side link to trade off with Fireball up. So you don't really lose too much, but they lost a bit of space. Darker surprising here onto Jack.
Oh my gosh! Jacked up for these ones. Spin on that. Tricks him with the phantom tip there. And now Davi in between two. Oh, yep. Saw him just on the outside, so he's going to have to hide by Gong. Everyone starts to close in to end this round. A little more damage, though. Can't ask for more. Jack with a 4K on this as they hold down B, and C9 do grab the bonus.
And that's why Jack is also one of the top-rated players in Challengers in North America in Stage 1, 2 for this year. The reason why he also came up here to C9 and getting that call-up. And again, it goes back to that conversation, playing here this double controller old-school style for what was still being utilized quite heavy in North America. And gives a chance here for Jack to understand a little bit more around the map.
They're like little cockroaches that keep coming one by one.
And he's just, all he has to do is turn the lights on. It's good. They come crawling out of the woodwork. Oh, nice cleanup there at B. We'll see if they can keep that pressure going down. Vic does have a Guardian on this one with full guns and an Operator now coming in from Loud. Oh, and an Operator coming in from Loud, but there's Oxy sliding in. Safe on the attack side of Loud, so now he's got to be a little bit more wary of what's happening. Backed up by the team, and they're doing this Death Squad movement a lot more in the changes that we're seeing.
Very nice, too. Instead of fully committing to the Hunter's Fury as well, just getting that space for that team, and so many backstabs just happened there for Cloud9. Just beautiful. Although the L-Drone missed. So Ernie still has a good spot until Oxy takes him down with the Operator, and that leaves now the insert from Davi inside that C-side being, well, I have space, but now I got to go pick up the spike against 3 players of C9. A great little start on the defense here for Cloud9.
I think it's obvious Veer has already executed a more proactive strategy for every member of C9. All of them were in the window when that push was executed. That's not a normal thing you see from this team, or a lot of teams.
Yeah, well, he talked about it with Liz, the focus on the macro this time around here as the head coach, and also just the protocols. So you're seeing C9 being a lot more together in these moments. At least for the start, it works well. Now it comes down to, again, those chaotic moments that still needs to be fixed. We heard that a couple of weeks ago multiple times through the voice comms on the side of Cloud9. And also, the other good news, too, is Veer, stepping up to the head coach slot. Still has the support from Imi, though, who took down the assistant coach. So the experience is always going to be there until that was a lineup that looked dangerous. Oxy low on HP in the end, but the round comes in for Cloud9 and the tied game.
Trading off the alt orbs. And it's sometimes, there's always a solution C9 was looking for, and sometimes you keep going over that same speed bump, but you have a solution the next time you go over it. Then you sometimes bring in a person like Veer in, he's like, guys, work on the steering. We can go around this speed bump. Check out this. And you just try something else in this aggressive mode for a team that already has very aggressive players on it. It just seems to click.
Yeah. It looked dangerous to start, though, with Lucio's first opening with that op. That was could have been a nice little flick from his POV, but again, thankfully, C9, as you mentioned here, are really playing with each other at the beginning of these rounds. Now, Recon a lineup here for this C side for Davi. Trying to see if they could go proactively very quickly into the garage, potentially. And Vic just stays inside that smoke, so he could maintain this element of surprise to anchor up on that C side, and already the rotate comes in towards this C spawn from Jack. Another great read to start, because they have Fireball ups solo anchoring towards the A side with the wall too. So as they feel no pressure at the beginning of the round from Loud, they have the right numbers again.
Loud continuously pressuring B. They feel like getting together on this site and guarding these shots is the way to do it. And they do protect each other quite well in the entry, only losing Darker. And it's going to be Vic able to put the smoke up, so they have to make sure they stay in sight. This can't be a protect from outside and guard the spike. It's going to make it messy. The chaos favors who is the question. TK Zine starts with one. Zelsis can't lock down the shot, but he's able to find it. The Vice ultimate rings out. Not too many affected by that as everybody takes a moment and a deep breath.
Time in their favor,
Fireball.
too.
Fireball and one. The second it clicks as well, and Luxo goes down, and Nerde has to play the cat and mouse game now. Ring around the rosy, a hold almost from Vic, stops it. Oh, Erday with the good click on that second step of Vic. Takes him down, and Loud bring that control right back in their favor.
Stayed calm in that scenario as well is Erday. And I like the idea that what Vic was trying to do, going for that tap on that second time, and Erday's not really in an angle to see that meter of the spike going up, so sometimes you expect a much wider swing. But look at him just stalling there. Just read that Vic was tapping as a fake for the second time, because he has the favor of the time for Loud to win. So that's going to force the hand of Vic to swing out. Easy crosshair placement. And it allows Loud to maintain the lead here in this first half.
It's a great point about the patience, too. You see multiple teammates going down just feet from you. To not swing on that is difficult. No, the play can still come after the fact. Really heady stuff there to get Loud another round here as TK Zine walks through the smoke. Just opening the site with hardly any util except for his relay bolt. They've actually crossed paths, ships in the night there, but it doesn't matter. C9 still getting dropped in the site, and Loud just exercises every Cloud9 member.
A little bit of an eco round as well for Cloud9 to try to fight back into that one, but you definitely saw here from the previous round into this one that they have this ult available for Erday for the Sage, and overall now you're starting to see Sage being utilized on multiple maps going into this stage a lot here. As for maps for helping out for execs, but also at the same time really stopping the fast floods that you have potentially with the double duelist setup from like a Phoenix and a Neon, right? So it's starting to see this pick rate from the Sage coming up more and more for a lot of teams, but interesting that Loud is bringing it here on Haven, and so far it's been pretty decent on how they're executing towards this site, always utilizing her to really block down a lane for a good 30 seconds of the round. At least some good damage before he escapes.
Yep.
Jack trying to die to Spike, but can't. At least upgrades to an Outlaw. You'll take that at least. Silver lining there.
See this one again from Loud. Going very fast off the back of TK. There's somebody that's just fearless on these takes. When C9 were playing Sen, it was Sen actually falling prey a little bit when they went fast. Cloud9 was able to organize quick here, but it seems like they cannot figure out what Loud's doing before the fact, and they aren't having the same result. We'll see what they'll have to do to get a read on that early round strat here from Loud so they can get those rounds back in C9's favor. Oh no, we're just gonna go fast again. It isn't stopping because he's going so quick he doesn't even realize that people could be behind him at this point.
Nice by Vic too. So they expected here that disruption from the Omen ult from Darker in.
Yeah.
The sneak around from Zelsis in the back of the B side makes things a lot more difficult, but it still gives a chance for Luke Show to start entering towards the A site. They'll now call the A site being open for Loud to be able to move in, and they'll make the audible for the plant. I don't think Luke Show should be exploring a little bit more than this. A little bit dangerous here.
Next.
Oh, if he can get another kill, I was going to say, if he can get another kill, it makes the Hunter's Fury that much more effective if they can play off site. But now they just, I think they play forward and see how many kills they can get here.
Yeah, but I think getting the kill and falling back would have been good as well, because remember, they have this res for Erday. Where can you really go for that res now? So now the possibility of playing the Hunter's Fury in the Pulse plant, a little bit more slim.
And just wait for Sewers here, or are they going to go for Zelsis? I'd say Zelsis would be saying, wait for me, if anything, since we've heard the comms before. And yeah, they are going to wait fully for that leader to come up and make sure it is just a squeeze on the last few members here. Davi, though, with a chance to create the 1v1s necessary. Oh, that swing, double face from C9 to make it click. And that's going to be a third round for them here in the first half.
Yeah, and it worked well. You see that Zelsis was calling for the timing once he's very close. They don't have that recon dart available for Jack, so Oxy has to sacrifice himself by sliding open and trying to figure out where the shots will be coming from. And I like that. Selfless plays from a couple of the players from Cloud9 to allow the 2 versus X to always happen in their favor, which is also something that Zelsis mentioned a couple of days ago in a conversation with
guys.
Ravishing Ravish,
Let's go.
the most ravishing man on the internet, saying that, you know, our protocols are a little bit off. I wish we had players a little bit more selfless. And selfless we saw there in that previous round for Cloud9. It's nice, but Loud still has a very strong opening every time here on the attack side.
That's true. There's just a lot of confidence behind these strategies that TK will create the space and the rest of the team can follow. Whether it be dangerous or not, they're all in on the same play, and that's the thing that matters. Again, here, they all break that doorway into C. Might lose TK, but now there's 3 in the site. Zelsis doing his basket spam through the wall. And it is actually an insert by Fireball and a few other C9 members to make this a little weird here. Oxy pulls up a kill and gets himself a good dash to get out of the ultimate of Davi.
I like the drop smokes too, trying to leverage that in the back of the platform for little one ways to fight with.
Ooh.
Double bounce goes right at his feet, so Oxy tried to dodge that, but it didn't work. Paranoia keeps their opponents at bay. You're going to try to pick it up and TP away if you can here. Oh, not anymore. That's perfect here, utility from Cloud9.
Just about 30 seconds here. Once they do get the spike, run across the map would almost be suicide if they don't know what's behind them. Could be anything from garage to grass. So the fight goes straight ahead. Davi pulls up one.
30 seconds
An ace
left.
on the horizon if he's the one to actually take the shots, but Luxo, that operator, could be the next pick. And it is good for C9 to just hug the walls right now and let them in as far as possible to try and get that crossfire they have going.
One enemy remaining.
Oh no! It gets broken apart! And Loud still find the round, inching their way into C-site.
Oh, that was a nice little flick, though, not going to lie, from the Headhunter pulling out to the headshot onto Vic. It's understandable here when, again, you're trying to play protocols for the side of Cloud9, but you kind of had no choice to play in that way because you have no information towards Garage. You have no information towards that back of that C site, so they kind of had to cover each other's backs.
One enemy remaining.
Until finally the recon dart came out, but it was just a little bit too late for the last two players to set up here for both Jack and Vic, and it becomes the two players of Loud to clutch it out. Beautiful from Davi and also from Luxo. And that's Veer's first official timeout as a head coach for C9.
And it comes on the round that rears its head of something that Cloud9 knows is plaguing them. Finishing out that round.
Yeah, another one of those.
Finding the last few kills and how to secure a win that was almost surely theirs.
Yep. Now the big question too is as well with the storyline of what's been happening for the past couple of years, and especially this year when Zelsis joined here, the Cloud9 team, was a lot of work put in from both Zelsis and Coach Imi, who's been good friends for the longest of times in tactical FPS. So how much trust do you actually instill here onto Veer taking into this role? But thankfully here, Veer was also a coach for Fireball Ups in the past as well for Nightblood Gaming and Challengers. So when it comes down to understanding the strongest suits for a lot of these players across the board that we currently see here from Fireball Ups, from Vic and also from Jack, having experience to play a lot against these three guys and with these guys, then of course they know what Veer brings to the table as well.
Yeah.
So,
Fireball, he's feeling it, 9-6. Like, I remember this, I remember this. We'll see if they can get a few more though.
Trying to run after that like a stopping a home run hit, but meanwhile we've seen a little bit of pressure attempted by Cloud9 into the A choke point, and that's already taken down by a spam through a smoke. It's only an eco that we have from Cloud9 though. Timeout's going to be for the next round, which we haven't really seen an op really come out for Cloud9 on the defensive side. And for me, to be honest, if I see here C9 with these roles and Veer as a head coach, I really want to start seeing Fireball Ups as a chamber.
Oh dear, do they have the trap play going in their favor? It doesn't work out too well. They were more aware of it because of Fireball's push. And yeah, Luxo was also aware of that after they took the trademark down. A nice job by Loud to read what was happening and able to execute on that, quickly taking out C9.
Okay, and the op also goes in out to Oxy as well, because as I mentioned, if it's going to be an op and more in the hands of Fireball Ups, more chamber I would have liked. But Oxy also steady hands that you definitely trust an operator with.
I think they saw us. I saw us.
Oopsies.
Yeah, it's normal stuff, trying to go for a little bit of a trap play like you did in the front of that B site, but this time to no avail. I was expecting to see maybe a little bit of a change of aggression in terms of the op line that you're trying to hold for Oxy. Maybe try to go for the front line, garage push. He's going to hold the off angle here against Luxo.
Bit of a push down mid. They're reconsidering it. Oxy gets the first shot. C9 with that defensive start, getting a few more rounds, I'm sure we're going to feel pretty comfortable here to execute this new aggressive kind of play style they have on the attack side. So they need these ones to finish out the first half.
Beautiful opener from Oxy, though, to start off from brick side to scale back towards the A main to try to get the op kill, because you'll definitely see that first. The TP, though, it's a TP. Hits him once.
Okay, spread the damage a bit.
Yeah, well, at least Luxo's going to get re-healed, but it's Erde that's now down to 70.
Too bad it's not the old days where you could have just burned the body off the map.
True.
The Vice Wall goes up, is loud again. Tempster, hand it B. Oh, almost a reset there from Vic, but the clean control from Darker gets the Phantom kill to go for 2. And Oxy slows that play down as the spike gets planted.
Still have a stronghold for C9 for the retake. You have a pit. Also a big ult from the Steel Garden that's going to force some players back. Davi, though, is able to hold that for a bit. Backside's hitting behind Gong. I think this is perfect from early right now. Very hard for C9 to know where the last players are going to be at.
Actually, just playing slide sentry out here, knowing Zelsis would maybe get a play off of that. Very selfless there. And he gets in for the check on the smoke.
Wow.
Zelsis to clean up the window shot, and C9 will pick up another round here.
And I think that's comms that's going to have to come into C9 to say, hey, they actually did go for the Sage Wall towards that C-Link. I'm not too sure if it was already that went for the plant, but if the pip came up, they should know here that maybe somebody's still inside that site. So good on Oxy to re-clear into that one. I thought already had him dead to rights by the reposition that he did inside of that Omen smoke. Should have caught Oxy off guard. But Oxy was very quick into this one. 9 HP remaining after that duel.
Good job, guys.
Now C9's closing a gap on their defense, but Loud is still in the lead now by 2, and they also have the extra ult for their side. They utilized Darker on the TP in the back of spawn before to try to force some early rotates. It'd be a nice little look if you decide to do that right now, because look at the forward position that you currently have now from Zelsis and Oxy. Walking down, that's what we were talking about here after the timeout. Wanted to see a little bit more of that with the operator as well, and Oxy's doing it.
They've been playing off each other quite a bit in these situations. They are close to just over the shoulder for these trades. You can see Vic also approaching here, and Oxy gets one. An operator in the window. They're going to try to probably squeeze on this, but he gets the ult, and yeah, Tikazine's going to be faster. A quick kill there. Not sure if that op gets picked up right away. We do see Luke Show with one, and his ult just on the horizon. Fireball. Oh, just the ears. Oh my God, Iriday's able to reset and get that one. The trades they're trying to put on each other are very heavy right now towards Garage. And this little insert by Luke Show is found by Jack.
This is a nice little Valorant round. I like what I saw from every single one of these players too, in terms of creating space and also just denying that space from just great shooting.
30 seconds left.
That's something I already talked about as well in his interviews, that they have such a good rosters of young fraggers.
Yeah.
But now so does C9.
A lot of proactive movement from everybody, trying to play in the mind of their opponent, and everybody's executing on little plays. It's really fun to watch. Jeez.
Yeah, that stun was perfect onto Darker as well. That flick from Fireballs onto TKZine was very beautiful too.
Sage has fallen.
Chuck dirt.
Becoming the Sova. There's no way I could ever be. I just press that button all day. How do you put someone in a room with a big red button that glows? It's just, it'd be like, you really want one? No, sorry, I just pressed it. But a timeout here does come in for Loud as they, a few rounds towards
You only have
C9.
2 of those, man. You get instantly fired.
You're like, you're still hitting the button? You're out of timeout.
But yeah, we're definitely trying to get value out of these ults that I was mentioning before too, especially as Erdi is 1 pip away of getting his. This is another one of those opportunities to disrupt the rotations from Darker's TP earlier on. Try to get the easy plant by breaking out a little bit of the rotation areas or opportunities and openings here by putting a Sage Wall up and getting that ult up from Erdi, and they could just really play on site. They have a good advantage right now to do that. But up from this time, and it also looks like they're trying to punish a little bit of that mid control too. Darker starting things off here at the window side, as well as Luke Show looking to potentially peek the A main line with the Dota Foss.
Ooh. Another mid push, maybe? I mean, Oxy has that op, so they're going to go that much further. Is it a drop smoke? Oof. Yeah, it looks like they just try to protect him for a garage peek here.
Well, that's the main thing too. He jumped TP to try to spot for that aggressive push, so a nice little protocol there to understand the early positioning from the side of Cloud9. So they already spotted where the operator was at. And now with the pit going in towards the A site and a drone coming in towards Garage, so that's 3 players kind of accounted for. But they would assume here that You're not going to try to re-peek into the mid line because of that first jump spot from Darker, so they want to explore that for Loud.
Found the op. That's actually great information for Loud. And they're trying to circumvent that range and get right in the face of Oxy through Garage. Good utility coming from Fireball to help slow that and protect the C site for maybe an exit. They don't let him out. Loud is so aggressive on this, and they still find Jack through that. Even in the concussed mode, Tikazine gets another frag for himself.
That's just nice. With the help from the Hunter's Fury too, and yeah, that's a great start for Loud in this round. And remember, already went for the plant. They section out one of the rotates, preventing from C9 from flooding back in from 2 different angles. And they also have an ult to work with, so now you could just play post plant wherever you want.
Fireball trying to draw fights from behind, but nobody is biting on these. Still kind of has squeezed through the rest of the wall. Oh, his close aggression is taken out. They have a chance to get some room in sight now, but the Kingpin Luke Show still coming around from Garage. If anything too scary happens, already gets one for himself, and it's just being such a distraction. Wait, hands, it goes through. They're too worried about the other fights to remember about the spike. 6-6, C9 do grab themselves an even first half.
What just happened there? That was a 5 versus 3, if I'm not mistaken, with the res available, and all of them wanted to play offsite to just try to play for spam and res bait, maybe something like that, but that a big mistake by Loud in the post plant that keeps now C9 in the fight, in the game, as it's a 6-6 going into the second half.
Yes! Come on!
Well, all even going into the second half of Haven. Don't go anywhere.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. It all started when I got to the FIFA World Cup. And wow, thousands of Verizon customers.
Oh, you got the free Verizon tickets too?
No, I'm with amazing seats.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And even pitch side access.
Are you? David Beckham.
A Verizon customer.
This used to be for players. Now it's for Verizon customers. No one gets you closer. Only on Verizon.
Now, Zelsis, you are facing Loud this week with some pretty seismic changes to your team. Now, as the leader of this team, can you enlighten us for stuff you have done to help this team out in such a momentous occasion?
I went on /r Reddit leadership to learn leadership qualities, taking feedback from the public. So hopefully those changes are implemented very nicely this week.
Can you talk about something you learned from r/leadership?
No.
Okay. That's important. You keep trade secrets. Best of luck.
I'm on leadership right now, and there's nothing. Good calls, Elsa. So, what have they been working on is the question as we get into the second half here at VCT Americas. It is C9 versus Loud. And Cloud9 able to grab those last few rounds, even after Loud had that timeout, tried to surge back. Still, C9 finding those last 3, as you see on the scoreboard. And a few of them are retakes, so they are able to follow through on the protocols they're coming in with. And now they go to the attack side, though, Vance. Is the Vice going to play out for them as they wish?
I think it's more for Loud as well with this Sage pick. So the 4 block wall could be very annoying to deal with at the start. Erde is already holding a close range, and there you go. Once he puts that 4 block, now he hears so many shots. Look at the rotate. Look at the push as well. Ooh. That gets denied by Fireball. That's huge here for C9 to enter towards this C site.
Yeah, Fireball starting hot. Looks like the defense setup here from Loud is just going to be a quick line of scrimmage. And no, they are going to gather and spawn. They're not going to actually have any entry through Garage here. A late lurk coming around from Fireball isn't really going to be a part of this fight, for we're focused on these shots right here. As Loud light up the kill feed, and C9 answer right back. Hang on, hang on. TKZine still alive. has to source out the last 2 players, and that's going to be Fireball on that lurk. That does come up big for the team. Played it calm, cool, and collected. C9 get pistol.
Yeah, as Luke Show had a couple of nice little flicks on the first half. This time it's Fireball ups as well. Luke Show had him dead to rights. Usually rotating back on that side. You don't expect anybody to walk down towards grass, and like that, he was still clearing towards grass on that angle and had to flick for that kill. Oh, a nice little second one through the Viper Orb by Jack. So clean shots on the pistol round.
What a day. All right, where do they go next?
Means a lot for them too, right? It's their first VCT pistol round win.
Absolutely. Ooh.
And maybe their first VCT eco round.
Quickly deflated. Just popped that idea image over his head. They're still slowly moving up, though. They're taking the space, but it's not definitive. Now they're just kind of stuck in this chokehold, hoping to not be peaked. Vic should make it out, though. They're going to reconsider this and head towards the other side.
It's a great call. There's only one player towards this A site right now. And he only has a classic to work with. That's Davi. And I like from C9, currently right now, we're just playing super quiet. Meaning Bogdan's lost so that Oxy could actually slide in for some information and also a rifle to just go straight up for a duel. But the more time that they take here, this triple flank could do a lot of damage.
Oh, what a timing to peek him. Sees one more. A little bit of a headshot there. Oh, Zelsis! Oh! Outlaw's given over on that one, but it should be Guardian picked up by Vic here. A safe play. Should be.
I don't know.
Why? Oh, God. Why does it get so intense when you're trying to fight a Neon in a doorway? There it is. The clean up from the rest of C9. They were made to run around for the kills, but they were happy to get those alt points.
And that's the thing. When it comes down to C9 with slow plays and moving into the site and realizing that it's open, there's still a window for them to cleanly communicate with each other. So understanding here that very early in the round, Fireball is felt in the hands of Luke Show. Then they know that the gap is there towards spawn, that the wall is not going to be useful here. The Vice Wall's already been deactivated, so Zelsis watches that flank, so able to get a nice collat from that.
Hey, Jordan, you got the collat. It's not us. I got the collat.
Well, vibes are good.
Yeah, it does seem. And Fireball, pretty hyped, too. Added a lot of that energy into the squad. That's good to see from a younger player who feels like they have a voice.
That's why you talked about he just wants to get the dubs right now for Zelsis and also for Imi. So all he wants to do is win. He'll put his hours in outside of watching Vons or whatnot to just keep his aim on point. Keep watching Nats as well and how he plays as a Senti role and affects his own play style. And look at now, Darker setting up for the retake with the rest of their team. A Paranoia that from this angle is only going to hit now one player in the back of the site.
Yeah, they chose that left side as they were coming through, but they can't get the high-lows under control just yet, and C9 wreaks havoc with that elevation game inside B. Hello, Fireball. Another lurk here. I mean, if he's trying to focus on the Nats game, he definitely has the timing.
Yep.
And it is going to wreak havoc here for the rest of the members of Loud trying to come in. Nice map control here for C9 to come in and take these rounds.
And that's what we wanted to see a little bit more from Fireball Ups as well, right? So that's the trust that Veer has into a player like Fireball Ups, who's had the same type of like lurk timings, same type of style that he has in Challengers, and now brings a little bit more into this matchup. Also able to call the bingo call, so even if he only gets one pick, enough information for the rest of the team to turn around for the fight.
The mini-map just lights up.
Which is why it's also surprising too that Loud, when we're looking at the Paranoia thrown by Darker, focusing more on the A side link, the rest of the team was actually rotating towards the C side to flood with, so I guess they were expecting maybe those guys to be blinded, use the...
If I had a gun, that's a triple spray down.
Yeah, so I was trying to say here, just a different look that we had from Loud that maybe guessed one angle for the Paranoia and hoping to flood at the right spots, but unfortunately that missing gave really a chance for C9 to convert their bonus round and to force here Romanilli to call his last timeout of this map.
That pistol round really helping here. And the fact that they got 6 on the defensive side. Remember I mentioned before, they start defense on every map here. C9 coming in with that, not brand new leadership, but a swap of leadership from assistant to coach role for Veer. So it's nice to almost be able to sit back and really see, kind of in a baseball term, the first few pitches of the other team. What's the style they want to play? How will you receive them? And then Cloud9 actually executed the aggression we are not normally seeing from them. So that was really cool that they also had a plan in this defensive start.
Yeah. The plan now for Loud as well with this double Senti comp is really to try to figure out how they could start funneling the players towards Luke Show. Because right now, early with the Sage, yeah, you're walling up towards the C-Sun. You can maybe wall up towards Sewers, anything here to just really try to funnel towards where the stack could be. Right now, let's stay a little bit quiet because it's an eco round that we have. Luke Show has that rifle to work with that he saved from the previous round. It allows for them to score the first blood, but C9's already activating inside the A site.
Zelsis knows there's aggression there. Great cleanup as they quickly insert themselves very deep. Looks like Loud thought they had a moment to reset there on defense. They already lost their residence. And now it looks like it's going to be Air Day. Maybe a sheriff shot. But nobody's going to give him a peek until he gets all the way in.
Might have a chance to do some damage to fireball ups.
Favor him. Ooh. Oh, okay.
That's some damage indeed.
Yeah, that is some damage. Pretty flashy, too. Even under pressure, you love to see those shots from anybody. Cloud9 still clean it up, 10-6. And that timeout fizzles out.
Yeah, and we just saw here a nice little entry for the side of C9, but what will be interesting is what is the setup now for Loud after the timeout? I'm sure they have enough money for the operator, so how do you set up here Luke Show for success? It's also with an Odin. So now you're blocking out a lane, you're going to wall through garage potentially, and then trying to funnel towards the op. For C9, they're just looking to 5-man hit early into the A choke control.
Back to the old death ball. Let's see how they're calming it as Cloud9 goes into this round.
Who did that? Come on, close strikers.
No charges. Shadows traveling.
Pretty sure there was more comms than that.
Yes.
Not checking
I was going to be like, wow, they really modified the comp. This is stoic.
Had a few, but you saw the idea, just really walk down and explode. So trying to do the old school, walk down towards the Viper wall, try to surprise the op that could potentially take the sewers control.
Absolutely.
And then just explode once you have the space. So that's very nice for Cloud9. That forces the last two players from Loud to save their weapons. But also good on them to disrespect the op line and to disrespect what Luke Show could really do here in terms of damage for the side of Loud. C9 are looking primed here to close out the first map. That's going to put them up at 11 on their map pick in this series.
There just seems to be so much more confidence going into this, and with confidence comes trust. And it's one of the biggest things when you're playing FPS at the highest level, that you're really going in knowing everybody's going to be watching the angle they need to, hitting their shots. That util, if you're looking for space, is coming over your shoulder, and C9 have a different level of that today. Whether or not it continuously stays, that's tough when you play from team to team. But they're definitely showing us that there is a different level they can unlock. They seem to be doing it here for Haven. 11-6 now. The battle of the ultimates for these last few rounds. Let's see how they can get it going. And it's going to be a tech pause.
Oh, no. Not tech pauses. Easy game for JK. I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, this is still a nice little look for Cloud9 and the first opener for Coach Veer. Slotting in there as Romanilli is trying to think about what really happened in the last couple of rounds here when, again, the composition that's new on their side to bring out Erde on the Sage is supposed to be helping them out a lot more here on the defense as well. Allow for them to capitalize for a few on the attack side, but they haven't really found too much value on siphoning their opponents into Luke Show.
Taking a lot of the round for Zelsis to use the information and figure out where a good place for Fireball to really insert himself once the round goes on. And there's been the rounds where you see Fireball halfway across the map, but he's still there on the play because C9's taking that time. They're fully understanding the wind condition, which sometimes can fall away. And I think plagued them a little bit previously when we see those moments like, oh, there are a few kills from the round in the 2v4. Wait a minute, how'd that happen? The 2 just beat the 4. But yeah, they're really setting up, so that's no longer a problem for the squad. And this death ball has been pretty effective.
Yeah. And it's also nice to see a change for C9 when they picked this map or they played against Sentinels. They won a 13-11 against them by playing Fireball ups on a Phoenix, so they played like a Whaley Phoenix and still tried to take advantage of the way of playing this double duelist, right? Against, I guess, following the meta right now of the double duelist comps. And I think that's also another reason why Loud decided to come into this matchup here with that Sage. That's what we talked about before. How do you really slow down like the fast double duelist dive that we currently are seeing a lot here across all the regions of the VCTs. But this time, this maybe little change going into the double controller is catching him off guard a little bit more, because the double controller also forces C9 to approach the rounds a little bit more slowly to try to leverage the Viper G2 wall over on that A side as well. So now you're forced to use a lot of util at the forefront from your Silva, which then means you have a lot less to work with for retakes and whatnot too when your Sentis are getting run over as well. So they have to really rethink that, and that's probably why Coach Romanilli went for that timeout quite early in that second half to try to see how they could adapt a little bit more to their defensive rounds. And maybe why it was, for me, a little bit preemptive for him to call the timeout in the last round of the first half when they seemed to be pretty comfortable already. Despite it going back and forth, it's still nice the openings that we're showing here for Loud to get the plants down on the sites.
And we are just getting a comms issue sorted out here, so everybody can be hearing that from the coaches to the players. As we heard in the previous one, we only got little snippets there, so we're getting that sorted as well. And it's kind of interesting that we have two teams that are coming into Haven and neither of them play Phoenix. It's not like one team has Phoenix here, but both teams are actually trying to figure out agent compositions that work for themselves where they aren't running the agent. Almost everybody is.
Yeah. And I think that's why as well the C9 pick, it's a similar look to what Lau was doing with the Vice pick on Fireball ups, right? That's also, if I'm not mistaken, an agent that they weren't using in the matchup against Sentinels. And it's the same premise. You have those Razor Vines on the sites. You could throw it across maps too if you want to. You could also do the same thing from Jack with the Recon Dart over from the A site to C. So as you're combining a little bit of that, it also slows down the tempo of a Neon trying to really rush into the sites. Although, you saw some very nice entry still from TKZ on this Neon on their attack site, despite having to play against the Vice, right? Those openers was actually really, really good for the side of Loud.
One of the things I really liked about Loud's hit with TKZ is on shoot, is that they are definitively hitting that. I don't think anything really deters them from going after that strat, which is really cool, unless they kind of get hit with a Vice wall or a Sage wall or something on the other side, which they can't. But yeah, to just drive in, okay, TK might go down, but the space is there and we need to spread out into the site. There's confidence in that strat for them. And a lot of teams would just be kind of dumbfounded if you were strong at it enough to just keep doing that. And I love it for Loud because they're so good at following up on what TKZ does. And he usually is getting the opening kill anyway, so why stop doing it?
That's definitely a change of pace as well in terms of, I don't think necessarily firepower when you're listening to what Erdia was mentioning before into the changes of Davi and TKZ coming into the mix here, replacing Verdi and Kawatzin going into stage 2. He always commended how those two players are always very good for Loud, but he kind of needed the team rather needed a breath of fresh air here by bringing in somebody like TKZ, who's been on the top of the charts from the LATAM region in the first place, but also Davi that comes in from Portugal. Played ENC with Team Portugal at the same time, so now you have a different experience from LATAM challengers to also the EMEA challengers to bring in new looks as well to help the calling into preparation from Erde to Bati and to Romanilli to really set things up right now for Loud into this stage. And
don't do that.
So far, no, don't
do that. Oh no.
Well, yeah. So just to return to that, it gives them a chance to really get their blood flowing in terms of new looks, new aspects, fresh looks into the maps, which is why, again, maybe unorthodox to see a Sage coming back onto this map, but overall, something that they wanted to try to work out, to see what they were trying to cook, to see if it could actually come out as a clean dish here, a delicious dish for a victory on their side. But so far, it's more on Veer and C9's debut. That should instill a lot of confidence for his side too if C9's able to close out this first map. For him to take the role as a head coach for the first time and to finally get one map out of one under the belt, I think that's a lot of confidence for a coach as well to be like, okay, well, I have what it takes here to play on this stage. You know, the best he's gotten so far was, as I mentioned before, not only Nightblood Gaming for coaching, but I think Shopify Rebellion Gold was as an assistant coach as well, where unfortunately they weren't able to win the grand finals for that last year. But yeah, he is definitely the type of guy that was working hard when it came down to the C9 applications to try to get a spot as the assistant coach. I remember he was streaming, watching like C9 VODs on Split, and had like the Word document on the side and just a bunch of snacks getting ready to like just write everything down. And when it comes down to like antis, when it comes down to also like protocols or looks when it comes down to alt rounds. Which is why when he was talking to Liz, like one of the main reasons why he was brought on as assistant coach to C9 was a lot of the ante, because he puts a lot of work into studying the tendencies of his opponents. Now he gets that plus the preparation to head coach too.
Absolutely. Now he gets to focus on kind of the macro and knowing what teams will do. I feel like when you're anteing, you kind of get to hope they do that, but when you get to focus on the macro, you're like, okay, now I get to fully work around that anteing, everything I saw, which is really nice. So cool stuff to see there. Oh, we did see one of the players step off for a bit of a break, so we're going to go ahead and give you a bit of a break, a hydration break per se. Before the match went live, C9 were keeping the vibes up, so we're going to take a listen, see what that was all about.
Francis. I need one. What should I do today? Oh, right while listening to Jordan call.
Jordan, how about me?
Jordan, go ahead and keep calling, Jordan.
Jordan, keep calling. You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Thanks, guys. No, really. Thank you.
Drop.
I want it. drop.
We are back here, VCT Americas, to jump back into game shortly. Currently have a patty cake tech pause going on here between Fireball and Zelsis. Very cute. Love it. Great. That's team camaraderie right there. Bringing back the old school.
Feels good to have all the smiles across from Cloud9 as well, who has been desperately searching for a victory here.
Yeah.
Since the call up from Jack, since the plus minuses of players to players, most recently being Vic. I know a lot of people are talking about like maybe Mitch and Vanity, but a lot of players also forgot about Rooney, the plus and minus Roonies that we had for those IGLs in the past for Cloud9.
Not Jack, but Jake.
Yeah.
So many. Sounds like ready checks are going in for this. Right now, it's been 5 rounds in the second half for Cloud9 as they got onto the attack side. I think one of the things that Loud kind of suffered was holding those sites in their previous match and being able to control it. Sound like Cloud9 definitely taking control of it right now.
Yeah, you need your big guys to really land some good shots because your rounds are getting expensive, right? The second time now that you're bringing out an Odin. Thankfully, you have a free throw that falls from the ult from Luke Show, but you really need to get value out of the investment that you're putting in, because if not, C9 is going to be in a comfortable spot to close out the first map with a broken bind for the last for Loud. And a nice timing by Oxy to open things up and catching Erdy off guard.
Absolutely. Oh, but not catching Luke Show off guard. What a snapback to grab 2 and slow the strategy right down. The Fireball still on the lurk. You see how much they're still considering that as well as the spike gets planted here. His timing could be impeccable.
Here we go.
The Sixth Sense. Oh, he didn't catch the eye.
Oh, that's huge,
What
though.
a great look for the flash there. Gets one still inside the site. Almost gets another turn. Man, it's a pleasure to watch Luke Show, but they still get the best of him on this round. 12-6 now as C9 go for match point here in Haven.
Yeah, great heads-up play by Fireball Ups to throw that Bloom onto the ground, but also trying to waste his time a little in there. I love the heads-up reaction from Luke Show to go back into the site to support the team there instead. But good here as well, as despite a tech pause, there was no really indication that C9 were looking to slow things down as how dominant they were in this first half, already fast gearing Oxy into a C line to catch that early positioning. As I've mentioned here, a difficult look here for the last round potentially. A lot of them on half armor, but this is going to do some value. That's a ping on 2, ping on 4, actually killing one of them.
And that's the go button, Vans. On the other side of the site, they're able to disperse Darker right out. In the plant again here. Fireball again on the lurk. They'll be looking for that, but they don't know that Luke Show's actually got the long C look this time, and somebody's going to back up into that. Oh no, they're actually going to hold the right side of the site. Erday finds Fireball on this. Luke Show's still quiet as a mouse, trying to get in. Another one almost gets the back of Oxy, but we know it's the toughest shot to hit.
They got res too, though, for Erday, so this could be a quick 3 versus 1. The wall is going to be annoying to deal with.
Not enough ammo, didn't clear it right away. Solidifies. Sight on the spike. Fast lane's there. It looks like Loud's going to be able to keep themselves alive for just one more round. That's going to be the spike, but that's going to be the kill. Taken to half, the defuse comes through, and Loud stays alive.
Good on Loud, too, on the post plan, too. Identify the late lurk again from Fireball Up, so they kept one person at bay towards that B line to just fight him at that spot. And then for the rest, yeah, they had to go for the res. They used some big ults too to convert for that round. Utilizing 2 big ones here. That's the res and the Hunter's Fury on top of that. Once we move into the next round, they're going to be far away from getting the next cycle of big ults up in their favor. The only thing they have now is the From the Shadows from Darker.
Yeah. C9 has so many advantages with those ults just to take the game. You can have Oxy crash into the site, steal it with fire, steal all their arsenal with Fireball. This is Loud needing to play separated for this. Ooh. That would have been a big start. Another miss there. Lucio just trying to catch the shoulder of somebody as he's now forced into a very tight spot. And he's actually just outside of it.
Could still move back in and TP if he goes for a pick.
Keeps the operator back in a rendezvous. They're actually just going to try to force this one in, cause as much chaos as possible. TK is in there. What a find from Darker to start him off just outside the pit. 3 members of Cloud9 still trying to skirt about. They're going to get Zelsis out of the fight. Pit is down, and Loud knows exactly where to look as they get the defuse in that situation.
Darker has been a little bit quiet throughout this whole game, but had 2 crucial, make that even 3 on the retake on that B site. Finding that gap behind the Viper's pit. There's a bad start too from when you looked at it from the point of view of Loud. They were trying to deny the planner being Vic. And as he had Luxio move in, he got stunned by his teammate by Tikazine and really couldn't come in to try to go for the denial. But thankfully here, Darker, again with the gap that he found towards Rabbit, is able to mow 3 of them down, including the pit. They still had the wall available here for Erde into the round. So what you're currently seeing as well is that Erde doesn't have to waste the wall so early. Let's hold that thought. A little bit of an idea to try to push down that line and reactivate right away from Cloud9.
They're really banking on that operator opener. Again, pushed out of the site. Great detection from the sonar bulb that Oxy falls. Jack answers. A little timid in the site now as they try to get to the right spot, keep themselves alive. Great sourcing by C9 to find the last member and clear before plant.
Nice little scaling in the end, too. After that punishment from the missed shot from the op, already has to retake the site again. Has the wall, but now doesn't have numbers to help him for the retake.
Tough. That's 1, that's 2, and all they have to do is take down Davi here. That's going to be the shot. Jack with the hat trick to end the first map of Haven. Cloud9's pick.
And yeah, as you talk about aggression from the side of Loud, I do agree with you that there are a lot of moments where TKZine finds his opening but slides into like mid-control or whatnot, but they're not as aggressive in terms of like having to hit sites every single one of the rounds. Again, because just of the different play style that crew brought against them. I think with C9 though, you might force the hand of Loud to be a little bit more proactive around the map because they're playing their old double senti, which means they don't mind running the clock down and slowing you down in the same process. Speaking of slowing down, there's that first orb. And the jiggle from Zelsis is good enough for him to give up that line because they know that Luxio's trying to find an opening here as this headhunter.
Super fast. Fireball just holding W here to get out of B main. A now very informed decision by Cloud9 to collapse on the A site. Zelsis is going to get a second look, so he knows it's a confirm. And both from Zelsis here as Tikazine enters into the site. Vic is just going to try to hold slant now. Oh, it does not work. Confident as ever. Loud just start to waltz into the site knowing they have power in numbers here.
Yeah, and you can see here the reaction from C9. They didn't fight as a team as they were trying to flood back into the site. Fireball up says he has the whole timing. It was perfect for them to stack up, but it didn't look good into the fights against Loud. So Loud, perfect positioning on the post plant. Lots of crossfire setups and 2 of them on that spike. Could potentially seal the pistol for the Brazilian squad.
Jack? Oh, beautiful over the shoulder, giving out pies to the face of Loud for a moment there as they still have a hold on elbow. And that's going to be Luxio. A tough shot here, finalizing the last one with the rendezvous up to get a quick shot on Zelsis. The fake in the hold. Zelsis not fully on it yet, but he's got a bit of an angle. Man, this is actually so awkward with the Sage Wall. And it actually is so much time bought by Luxio. Enough, and Zelsis cannot get the defuse. Loud get themselves another pistol.
And Zelsis is not going to like that because that was his wall that he placed towards the elbow as well.
Jeez.
Doesn't give him a chance here to fight that 1v1 to go for the defuse. And again, you have to look at what just happened here for them to flood back towards the dumpster. There's only Vic sliding out solo from slant, but the other 2 were still trying to use util from the top of shops to try to clear out with fade util or whatnot. So there was no 3-2-1. There was no slide across.
I got mine.
It was
no.
3 individual, like 3 versus 1 for Loud onto the A site hit. So again, some of those problems still linger for a bit, but mistakes are prone to happen when it comes down to redressing your macro here for a team. It's like a week of practice that Veer just mentioned earlier on. So to try to be playing as perfect as possible is asking for too much in my eyes.
Really neat angle here. They're actually going to dash out on it and quickly activate for a weapon. Seeing that a Phantom is guarding towards mid. Wait, they just gave that Phantom up.
Just saw Erde.
Yeah, Erde's going to try to deny a little bit of this, but it might cost him his life. He just, okay, we have to wall this off. Already broken. Is they're going to start pushing through, and Cloud9 may have an answer to this. No, Luxio. Beautiful Marshall shots down mid to control the round.
Another one of those, right? Player advantage that they had. It almost looks like the eco round that they had on Haven. Dropping four players when it comes down to a 2 versus 1. We're just a little bit off in terms of the comms on that swing. They swung one by one right into the Marshall Lucio. The same scenario there. Difference is this time around, Erde is also up with Lucio, and Fireball Ups has a rifle to work with.
Rendezvous to Headhunter, but he's actually approaching the situation straight up. 3K for Lucio there. So you're going to see Tour de Force pretty fast here. But another round for Loud, and they're going to go into the bonus.
Still ends up being good damage being set up by C9 here.
True.
They didn't really try to go for some sort of contact play. They just tried to go for a timing gamble. Let's just flash down and see what we get. And it went right into the pack of Loud, made it expensive. And you saw those picks from Lucio.
Being able to do the same thing from the defensive side of Haven, they left one member of Loud up on that second round and actually were able to take the bonus. Let's see if that is something C9 can do here on Sunset. Whoa, right into the relay. So they know it's a bit of a rinse and repeat of the pistol round strat from Loud right now, but more C9 members are helping each other out in sight. Orb grabbing out. Mission accomplished.
Still, look at Fireball Ups. He pushes forward behind the Sage Wall as well over on this B side. So that's the protocol that you currently have from Cloud9 is, okay, we got a lot of pressure on this A side. Just activate here on mid.
Oh, control, fireball, another, my God, he gets it, plays the edge of the wall.
Told you.
And plays darker.
I told you.
It's a perfect push. It's almost flawless and faultless because he can rendezvous out if he does see somebody. If he doesn't, he keeps walking and gets plays like this from out of B main. And now the pressure is on Loud here in the middle round. Lucio loves that pressure and performs at A for a moment.
At least both players are accounted for. Oxy, though, overcommitted, was trying to get that pick towards that spawn.
Yeah, they're doing too much alone, doing way too much alone here. 9 HP on Lucio, they're going to get the full trades in. Why is it coming down to one person, but it's still Cloud9's and not Loud's bonus?
That was a 5v2. That was dangerous. That was dangerous. I respect the Oxy walkout still because he felt like he could have maybe cut the rotation at least one player from the spawn, which is Davi, because, again, they knew where he was coming from.
Player standing. One enemy remaining.
Nice! Hey, Jack, do ace, baby!
More Rob. More diligent. More diligent.
I love that you can feel it, Jack. So he's like, okay, yeah, we won,
oh
right?
My God.
But we do a little bit better there. Fireball goes down. So the first time they do challenge him, he actually stays for the fight.
It was a nice try. That was something that, it was never tested on that ace on that B line. Tried to bait out to break that trip, but it's still Lucio that's quicker on the trigger in terms of the reaction time.
Ooh, Avengers up and over. They still can get darker over as well. Oxy says slow right down and he clotheslined with one, but dashes in. It feels like they thought they had a bit of a control without hearing the wall go down there, but all of the members of Loud were presenting themselves in sight. Easy plan.
It was a good seize that was thrown by Jack too, and slowed down the entry a bit to allow for Oxy to try to get his 1v1, but again, all of that just faltered as soon as they took down Fireball Ups in the front of that B main. Loud went for what they like to do here, just self-boost across the Sage Wall in fight. And this will be a save for Vic. Another eco round will go down for C9 in the next. Well, that would also probably put Fireball Ups in a more cautious position going into the next round too. Because if you're looking at it from the very beginning until now, he's pushed B-line, B-site every single one of these
I would
times.
love to see him just continue it. And be like, you know what? It happened once. Will you do it again? Because I'm just going to hold W. And rendezvous if not. Why not?
Yeah.
Could get a kill. But you're right. Luke shows speed. You do have to be careful. You cannot disregard that. Insta reset to get that.
And at the end of the day, I think it's fine as well, because you look at the scenario of the rounds in the past here for C9, Fireball Ups was getting a lot of picks with the rifle first, and then they lost 4 players in the process, and the money wasn't perfect for them to get the operator in the next round, but they'll have it now. Could have been a different look, too, if he actually did have enough money to bring an operator in that previous round, because he had the first bullet shot against Lucio, who was looking to creep up on that B line again. But it's another one of those scenarios here where Fireball Ups holds that line and gets the full information that he's not getting pressured, giving a chance here for C9 to focus a little bit more on the defense.
Oh, they stopped that, though. Nice little smoke. Now they have to wonder.
Yeah. But you mentioned the TP that he has. He's always going to be able to watch that line aggressively first. He's going to avoid the drone, and once that drone disappears, walk back out the line. I don't care. Work the Jerwin style, too, to just take over elbow, and that's exactly what he's doing. Gives a chance once again to get C9 ready for the B-side hit.
B main flick from Luke Show to start off here. And still watching in mid from Loud. Have pretty good control of the map, so they're not pressured to really push forward to the site. Quickly taking down Oxy, and yeah, C9 are just being dropped left and right. Fireball keeping himself alive for a moment here with another kill in mid. Ooh, good read. Putting that chamber to work.
Keep making it expensive right now. You could upgrade to a weapon, carry it on to the next, try to find some exit kills as well. This is all really good by Fireball Ups.
Back towards door.
But this, again, was just an eco that we had from Cloud9. And because of that drone that pushed Fireball Ups away, I like that Erdi also called for Loud to be a little bit more quicker on the hit towards that B side, because as Fireball Ups re-clears, he has to slowly re-clear back towards that A line. So as he's still trying to relay and find the confident call to say, okay, they're not re-hitting towards the A site. C9 were sort of ready for a B hit, but didn't have the right stack inside that B site. They still had two players watching the crossfire on the top of the middle, which is why you can see here that TKZ had just easy entries.
My ult is ready.
Yeah, as soon as Loud are ready to hit the site, it's full activation. And they're doing a really good job of even doing damage or sourcing some util from Cloud9 as they get into position to do that. And going mid, figuring out where a few people are, grabbing audio, and then just making those hits so much more effective.
Again, I wish that was enough money for an operator. And I don't know, with Vic currently at 25.5, they have enough here to buy Fireball Ups and op. But he tries to find the spot here in the kill with a Vandal only. He gets information, but unfortunately, no surprise for the first blood. Loud looking for a split on the top of middle into the B site.
Nice read towards Spawn here from C9 to instantly thwart that. Now the play is going to go towards Celsius. He gives a good wall there. Oh, he gets the slide in from TKZ. Cleared out through market, and they're going to make their way into site. Boba's held by Oxy, but it's going to be a tough fight. Gets one, can't get the second one as Erde uses the teammate effectively for that kill.
Still doable.
2v2.
Right now with Vic's rotate, he's going to break that trip just to make them think that he's re-clearing that B line. And it's nice that he regroups with Jack, because now they could paranoia and haunt for information at the same time.
Yeah, you got to get around Erde's operator Luke Show's operator somehow in the situation. B main smoke default there. Oh! And behind the util. Beautiful little use of the trickery of the eye there. And now it's a ring around the rosy for Davi. Util there, but not enough time to use any of it. It comes down to the aim, the shot, to step into the smoke, but it's cleared. Vic there, playing defense and knows which wire to cut. Another round for C9 as they get to defuse, retake that site.
Yeah, and they were assertive, too, on what C9 was trying to do in terms of protocol. I was talking about a flash haunt to maybe try to ping both of them, but instead they just group up, try to use the haunt to break crosshair placement. A perfect pick that you had from Vic. And then also just the way that you rescale towards that side. Throw that tether towards that front of the site. You see no lines coming through the center of that circle, so you know here that the last player is elsewhere across probably B main or towards those boxes. They played inside that smoke, covered the diffuser, and had a clean retake.
Another strong A push here on the Prowler to see if there's a fast fight, but no, it's straight up the gut. And a TP to Spawn from Darker. In full control of a map flip. Oh, beautiful shot from Fire Ops on the quick scope as they're trying to retaliate on what is happening. Regaining control. They're actually trying to keep Loud on their heels, and it's absolutely working. They've sourced out every member instantly, and now we're preventing the spike plant from Davi. Oh, now they're toying with him. Everything was fast up until now, and they want him to make the mistake.
Well, remember, we had a 5 versus 2 last time, and it almost lost it. So
you're not wrong. Can't forget about these rounds.
This time Davi has a rifle to work with still, but yeah, they're probably going to let him plant, which is okay. We'll still get closer to the Hunter's Fury.
A little cash money for the team. Ooh. Full HP. I mean, why not take a few fights? You have just about a minute on the clock when he started searching. And Fireball Ops will have the scope up and ready for another round for C9 here. Almost tied up as C9 get 3 rounds now.
Doing some very standard stuff here in terms of the range that the Chamber is able to get through his TP. And the protocol that they currently have at the beginning of these rounds stays fairly similar, right? Instead of having a stage wall to cover his tracks, they have the door literally towards that market. If not, if it's a sage wall towards B main and it misses the off shot, if they're going to keep spamming towards that wall in the B site, then C9 could be aware that, yeah, Loud's trying to up the tempo. So they're trying to leverage the util around the sage wall and also the doors to get themselves a little bit more proactive and moving at the right spots around the map.
Oh. Nice little 1-2 with a util from both teams there to try to execute. They reset for something else with the drone now. Oh, it's a hard chase, hard chase. Vic can't get turned around in time as Woxy goes right out in the middle of the fight, thinking that he can help. A little I think I can situation. Puts C9 down in members on this right side of the map. And now, an orb grab, ult ready. So if they get the spike plant and they can disperse on site, they may not even need to use the ults. Luke Show can creep up with the op here.
Fireball is feeling fairly confident with how he's playing so far. This time didn't have a Chamber TP to work with, yet they're still creeping to get kills. Understandable. They've been one man behind this whole time, so you're trying to make a play. You're still trying to find information of where the hit's going to be coming from. Now from Zelsis' position, he hears the full run back into middle, and it forces the re-peek, and it almost works. But Luxo misses a shot.
Love the mind games that they're trying to play. Oh, he answers on another one. Oh, the headhunter strikes true onto Jack as well. And just like that, C9 disappear from the site and Loud grab around.
I didn't like actually the fact that Zelsis decided to give up his line. You know, after Davi runs down towards middle and you still spot a player into elbow, you should expect here that it's a cut noise and re-hit potentially for Loud. So he gambles to go back for the res and gives up that space, and Erdy just walks up for 2 free kills. Jeez. And Jax, who's doing an excellent job containing towards the elbow side against Luke Show, while he gets shot in the back on top of that because of the space that was given away here from Cloud9. Always different angles that we're trying to find here for Fireball Ups, but this time cannot go for the flick kill and low on HP. He's going to try to find that re-heal very soon from Zelsis, rather. And you see how they're moving across the map, covering all the spots. Okay, now I have to go for a heal, so Jack take over that spot. I like this.
Very nicely rotating in and out to cover that space and never leave a gap. Also, this first half going very close and mirroring what happened on Haven here as Loud was able to grab 6, and that's when C9 came back with 3. And Fireball may start that early. And Luke Show's walking through mid with his op. I love the confidence.
Yeah, I mean, he's been spawning towards the market the whole time and saw nothing here, so no pressure coming through. He's now the late lurk towards the market.
Just off on the timing there, but they do still get the kill trade. Vic prepping the wall here for the retake from the rest of the team. They're going to try to get a plant down for Eride, who does get...
Already close to res again?
Res off of this, yeah. Fireball Ops goes down in the rotation. Easy heal there. God, they have the answer for everything on these peaks. It's really only becoming chip damage for C9, and they need more to come out of these situations.
I mean, look at the minimap. They have a sage wall to deal with on the attack side, their own sage wall on the other side.
They get one, but they lose one. And Vic's able to keep it going. Eride still down very low here after the fights. The defuse starts to go down, but Luke Show finds the lineup after all that. He's brought back to life to be the one to secure the round for Loud.
So C9 blocks their own way to filter back into the B site, pulling themselves down to the staircase, and just gets blocked by Erde's util as well with his own sage wall. But that's what we were talking about before in terms of Loud when it came down to how dominant they were on their attack side was because their opponents kept going towards them. They wanted to play more slowly, back towards that spawn. You see how their openings are also very slow, leveraging a lot of the Luke Show and Davi's utility. So one body to be the human drone, the second one being the actual droner, just to figure out where C9 could be setting up. But every single time you're only seeing Fireball Ups really trying to find some aggressive lines, and as soon as he gives it up, they kind of force themselves to turtle back a little bit more and give up a little more of that space for Loud to take.
I like that, because Loud usually comes back to look for that line. They want to see if you're still peeking. So yeah, Fireball could, or anybody that's there, Zelsis had a line one, they could finally get the secondary kill there and keep pushing forward. I think they're a little too happy kind of with what they're getting, which is never usually a problem. You get a kill, you want to back up player life, but sometimes that angle creates such an importance then. I agree. Maybe C9 flexes a little bit more on that after this timeout to secure these 3 rounds, just as they did in their first map.
I have to call out Zelsis too on how he's setting up these walls for the retakes for the defense. It hasn't been the cleanest ones yet here for allowing C9 to be a little bit more disruptive on their retakes. They're not flooding from different angles, they're flooding from one. Now it's a self-boost to look on one side on the top of the wall. Will it get checked? Probably not. Still gets the first shot, but that's probably Lucio with a flick back up there for that kill.
Could be a memory. We did see Fireball did that, but he played the low side as Zelsis was high. So trying to vary it up, but you can't vary up on Lucio. Not like that. Oh, the slide in. A quick trade close up, and they're going to be looking for Zelsis. He's really pinned into this situation, so really a great job to get a second one. As Boba, now the place where C9 begins to encroach from. They split for market as well.
Makes it doable right now because the ult is available for Fireball Ups, who's currently wielding it and using it. So Zelsis doing some damage and getting 2 kills. Gives a chance here for Fireball Ups to find his duels.
Here.
Oh, made a step. Who does that? They're walking in. Really nice hold, though, from Loud. This is going to be a tough one for C9 to get, so they should be able to break this up to 7 on this low buy. Hearing the cheers from the players. Yeah, Loud grabs 7. And a nice job to go back to this just execute heavy round. If Lucio needs to get the first pick, he does, but everybody's still following up regardless.
There you go.
Jeez.
So he was definitely looking towards that line where Fireball was playing in front of that stage wall before, and gets that nice little flick up onto Oxy on the top of the wall. Attack sign up here from Lucio, very valuable. And this time, interesting look here from Cloud9. All of them grouped up on the top of middle. If that smoke's coming up, you're going to self-boost and try to fight down towards that line.
Here we go. Woo! Got one. Oh, the edge, just not enough for Fireball to get one down that tile side.
Coach Veer, you nerd.
But enough. It works. They spread out, too. And they already had full coverage from Jack on this side, so they didn't or weren't losing too much ground. A little bit of util traded out to stall that. Cloud9 is perfectly happy with it.
And huge that it's early as well. He's been doing pretty decent in terms of cycling up these ults, getting some impact frags to get reses back up here against Loud. It's an important piece out of the question now for Loud. Unless one less wall to deal with once C9 will have to go for the retake. If they're giving up sites here, which looks to be the case. A site fully open right now for Loud to take if they start smoking at the right spots.
Just too much swarm. That fast lane they create with a sonar bolt, not really something you could hide around because they're going to find you. They're double executing just to make sure they can get that left side cleared out from Pawn. Now Tikazine. He's going to stay here. Kind of love the confidence in this play, obviously. Oh, the paranoia timing with Oxy's slide. Very nice, but it couldn't cover Lucio out towards elbow. Squeezes himself in through the smoke, but C9 is still trying to swarm the site. The timing here from Pawn as well from Fireball. He's got really good just end of the round. The last thing is happening from the opponent timing, and he's executed on it quite a few times today.
Yeah, definitely a small look that has changed here from C9 the last time around they played on this map, and that's Fireball switching away from a Cypher, and that allows for them to get a little bit more proactive around the map too. Instead of playing trap kills with the Cypher. All that usually gets broken just by the util of Davi. And look at that.
You see, he's crouching too.
He's still trying to find some space to go into the market and just gets instantly owned. Meanwhile, a nice little haunt coming in here from Jack to start engaging on that flood.
You got to have the little tricks up your sleeve, right? I mean, not seeing that, I'd say from C9 we've seen standard Valorant, right? Let's see what Loud's producing for this round from their comms.
Bora? Bora, vamos entrar. Abre você. 3, 2, 1.
Vamos com essa você, o que é isso? E vou passar.
Tá. Parei o mercado.
Puxou meio.
Tá. Ganha Maxi.
Eu vou comer base.
Tá. Come base vocês dois.
plano.
Come base vocês dois.
Tá. Pica como fake TP.
Eu vou dar uma mercado e como um boss.
Você fake TP e você pica, ok?
Vai.
1, 2.
Nada.
Não vi nada.
Tamo aí ainda.
Ainda mercado.
Ganhei mercado.
Tá.
Tá. Tô entregando aí, bot.
Botou CT.
Não, eu aqui, sei lá. Eu vou também,
Faz tempo CT.
Olha, põe mais CT com ele.
Eu vou tacar outro logo. Boa.
É só abrir o CT,
Eu vou ficar
galera.
backside agora.
Tá. Moca CT?
Fecha a mira, eu tenho...
Deixa o smoke CT. Smoke, tá close.
Omen. Gastou a Bangui. É só stun que tem
Quebra
agora.
spot, alguém.
Eu não consigo. Tá tudo indo base, galera. Ninguém mercado. Smokando o smoke todo o tempo. Jogando na frente do smoke.
Boa, Urge. Boa.
Mais um base. Tem que estar base. Ó, deu que se liga aqui. Ou tá beitando o mercado. Tá
Esse é meu time, caralho. É você, porra. Vamos, caralho.
Pra cima, irmão.
Bora.
This half has been all about the chambers between Luke Show and Fireball Loves, right? So Luke Show holding that market side, playing the very similar look, play behind the stage wall, anchor up that site, not give a chance for C9 to rotate back towards that spawn, or sorry, to split from the market and the spawn. It just allowed all the rest of the players in the back of that Boba to just mow everybody down from C9 on that attempt of a retake. A strong hold for Loud moving into the second half.
Loud making a good move for a third break. Don't go anywhere. We'll rendezvous right back here after the break. Man, I think that keep that song going. That had some bump to it.
Nah, give me in the game. Give me in the game.
I mean, keep it going in the game. Let's go. Loud's definitely having that effect on this one. They came in strong. They've been following Tikazine in on a lot of these ones, especially for the first map. Been a little more, like you said before we went to break, the chambers here on this second map. Luke Show and Fireball Ops kind of going head-to-head here, as we see, but we're switching sides. Loud is going to start on that defense now.
And the clash, I think, is going to start earlier than expected. Both of them setting up TPs to take mid control. How will this showdown turn out to be?
Oh, is he going to get triple peak, though, in the end? Oh, it doesn't matter. Tikazine still headhunts with a Sheriff down on his side at top mid. And Darker's pushed back. So Cloud9, trigger pulled again after one person going down, and they're going to try to get the kills in. Loud just looking down on them from on high here in different positions. 4 members for Loud still alive. The C9 scrambles for another one, trying to dwindle the numbers. Oh, it's a tough peek. Oh, my God! Teamwork on that was beautiful for C9, but it's still...
Vic in the clutch.
Is going to be tough. jumping on him. Just making it as tough as possible to keep that crosshair in a place where he could get both kills. And Loud get another pistol round.
Was feeling it for a small moment there for Vic, because he was definitely known in the challenger scene to be a huge clutcher, even before moving up to C9 for the first time. When he was playing with Moistic Shopify, second time around playing with ADG in the stage 3 of challengers, and he was owning and farming in the clutch. But this time around, a nice little fight back from Luxio, and a protocol that's clean from Loud on the defense to just nullify that look that Fireball Ups continues to try to do here for C9. And yeah, after this plant, because it went on a 2 versus 1, it's Headhunter and Stingers to go for a rush hit. But still, open season for Luxio's Outlaw.
They're trying to slow everything. Even the first bit of noise, they went with a very early slow. And the wall, just so they can set up. Leaning towards the left side of the map, here comes Luxio. They reconsider, though. They said, wait. We're moving too quick.
They need the spiker, yeah. You don't want to fall into that same type of mistake here previously.
Everybody's using the Avenger play today. And C9 goes over the wall this time into the site. Grab one, great C's. No follow-up, though. They're not trying to push too far into sight. Fireball guarding the backside. And market is closed for now.
And with their position on Pulse Plant with Stingers, this will be dangerous and difficult for Loud to retake with.
They're going to try, though. 1, 2. Can't reset on that. Too quick to load. Wait a minute.
Oh, no, the lineup.
Bulldog. Just do a classic. Oh, he thought he had the time. Maybe he was getting wrapped. Maybe they weren't going to peek until the defuse, but no, they swing together. And there's the clutch. They needed a second round for C9.
They were so low on HP for the last 2 players of Cloud9, and just thank the Valorant gods if you're a C9 fan that Darker also ran out of bullets.
Yes.
Yeah, look at that play. They tried to stall early with the relay bolt onto the ground, but it's nice that C9 just stayed on top of the wall. Everything just worked out in their favor to make sure that they traded with each other to the best of the capabilities. And one single gap, though, you see how much space, or what little space is given to Luxio, how much he could take.
Prime Sage plays this game from Zelsis and Erede for the teams. Oh, that is a, oh, okay. Trademark was there. I was going to say, that is a clean walk all day.
They paranoid and tried to find the timing through there, but unfortunately missed it.
Already still had quite a bit of move up. Vic answers, gets the turnaround.
My ultimate is ready.
They're set up for another one, too. Everybody is kind of oddly pinched here, so C9 does have to choose to go into the site. Zelsis is quickly cleaning up everything that could scare them from a timing situation. And there's the last kill that they needed. Spike should go down for a little extra cash here. C9 pick up another round. So now see what Loud can bring to the table.
Yeah, and Vic's the one moving down that E ramp to get that pick on that flank from Tikazine, just so that they build the ult orbs for Cloud9. Zelsis already had his ult after picking up the orb. This puts them in a comfortable spot now for their bonus round. Well, I like to call this bonus round because it was a a forced buy second round that they've gone on to Loud, so
right.
Still have a lot of money to work with. Outlaw into the next round, or into this round.
Yeah, Fireball playing it very smart. Can get value on 3 of the members here, Loud. Where to go? He hasn't really changed his position. So they might be looking to find him in the same spot. As C9 starts to hit that left side of the map, they are going to meet 3 members. Oh, nice wall. Great little bits of delay here to see what members they might have to fight with on their way in. This is going to be a weird angle. They don't realize this created by the wall, though. Have to be aware of that situation. You're the one making the play, and Loud punish.
Not too sure what happened there, because I'm pretty sure Tikazine was spamming that wall as soon as it was put up. And on top of that, when Zelsis was running up to put that wall up, he saw him. Yet, as they're scaling back towards Boba, nobody's paying attention to look back towards the wall that's being broken on their side. And they just get backstabbed. Again, you see a little bit of those moments when it comes down to be hectic that the comms kind of just slip through. And
yeah. It felt a lot like oh, I thought somebody else had that. And everybody was confidently in that train of thought.
Yeah.
And then in the end, nobody has that. Luke Show has it. There it is, a kill on the Fireball. In that Chamber v Chamber matchup, he went hunting and found and buried. 10-6 now for Loud as we push closer and closer to Summit.
See, the actual person that was breaking that wall was TikiZine alone. The other two players that was back there with them went back to turtle into that B site to set up their crossfire towards Proba instead. Again, to lack of sounding like a broken record, you can't play as perfect for C9, who has had to do a quick turnaround with a new head coach in, and those same type of lingering issues for C9 cannot be fixed overnight.
Ooh, elbow wall frag there. You can see Darker actually up top for the elevation, so they get their own little boost game frag in the beginning of the round. Oh, gonna try to get the spray down. Jack Dancing gets out alive.
It's info for the boost as well, so they know the Sage is being posted up on A, and the wall's already been used. And C9 could start slowing down the round and try to create different type of angles here.
Playing very quick on two different fronts. Trying to feign towards mid, but now they go back towards market. Actually going to be into the site. They are scrambling Loud, but still finding safety. Oxy just draws Luke Show on the wall instead of getting the kill, and he's somehow still alive. Unhurt. What? Did he get a heal there? Must have in a second. Rez coming in for TikiZine as he's back in the game, and Luke Show with the 4K under pressure the whole time on that side entry.
Oxy felt like he had the kill already onto Luke Show.
Like
he's turning away from this one, and then he just misses the shot. And that small miss allows Luke Show to get a 4K into the round. Farming right now on Sunset for Loud. Almost close to dropping to 30 here at currently 27 kills.
Wow, you see they were doing a shadow step with Omen as the wall went up, so it's more of an Omen wisp instead of an Omen just going like on an elevator. That peak is kind of insane.
Yeah.
From Darker. Holy moly, the tech they had.
Yeah, just a little bit of a different position from the Paper X TP wall up that they have on the B main. This time to use it towards that window to do some good damage into the A line on C9, trying to get some early space.
Love it.
Timeout is important now for Cloud9. They really never had a strong hold on towards this map. I think with the exception of a couple of nice little flash in the pan from Fireball-ups with the openers that they had on the defensive side, but overall their holds and anchorings on either extremity hasn't always worked out in their favor. And this time on the attack side though, Luke Show's making them give a taste of their own medicine by having so many good aggro peaks. So many little off positioning as well, and even as he TPs, still gets value from his positioning at the TP backline.
Okay. C9 need to find a way to break that Loud defense. I think Luke Show's been doing an amazing job of making sure they only have 4 members to do that quite often, right off the rip. It looks like they'll kind of play a default here to start off and just read the map.
Not playing together here. The drone coming out, should have expected maybe a little bit of a swing, but maybe it could have been a instant TP. Good though for the side of C9, and we have a little bit of overextension on all extremities, so it still ends up being a nice little 3 versus 3.
Everybody finding a fight at the same time, and I think that's going to keep Loud as well strewn across the map. No committal to a site here as they play 1-1-1.
We're also close here to a bloodbath at the end of this round. Some big ults across the board. And right now, C9 are looking to just play the contact. Still have to be a little bit wary of maybe utilizing a bit of that util because they have to walk somehow potentially into Luke Show's op, and that's why you have to Prowler, give your position away. You realize now that the elbow is clear. Now you can play on site after using the Nightfall.
Textbook plant. I mean, they really can't even follow up on Davi's util right now. They're not in position. Oh, they may be in position. Maybe in position.
Thank God Oxy's there.
A little risky, but sometimes you got to try it. Oxy takes him out, prepared for that push to come through.
That's a huge kill to take here.
Overdrive. Oxy sliding right back in, and he's going to go ahead and throw his out just for Davi, too. Now he has to reconsider who's going to slide into his face as he finds the first fight.
That's the thing. Don't overheat in going into this one. Play the tap, play the protocols.
Oh, they're both making a nice job by C9 here. Oh, wait, cursed. That's my bad. No time, though. He's got to run it. So, ultimate up for Davi here. Coming into the next round, if they need to secure another one somehow, or at least execute on a play to take C9 off guard. Nice job to get that 7th, though, by C9 and keep this off a game point.
Oxy feeling that he could still play the old Neon style and quickly peek.
Yeah.
Just waste out bullets, waste out the time, and maybe have 2 players stay alive. But that's the thing. This is still expensive rounds for Cloud9. They're not really out of the woodwork, because they're already low in terms of economy going into that last round for a buy. If you're looking at this one here, lots of hash shields, regens.
Yeah.
If Loud wins this one and puts himself at map point, this is will be an abysmal buy for C9.
I mean, even if C9 win, they get 3K, right? It's still, it's tough. Oh, TK's in crazy fast. So they do decide to go aggressive on this round. Really getting in C9's face the moment they get a buy. Loud goes for the throw. And another one. He sidesteps instantly for the peak. That's when Vic is most ready. But Luke showed just that fast. And Oxy, he's going to use a little util before taking a chance on that angle.
Need the hero plays to come out for fireball ups. The best thing you got here losing this round for C9 is the ult from Fireballux going into the next round.
There's 3 people there for him, Vans.
You got to make a play, man. It's a 5 versus 2.
Oh, of course, of course. I think it's so funny. Loud's like, yeah, he's going to be lurking. Let's set up everyone to wait. Wow.
A very clean round.
Super, yeah. I was going to say, what a lockdown from Loud on that one.
No point of damage taken from the side of Loud as well, so they could continue to build a very strong economy while they set themselves up at map point on their map pick. Luke Show getting close to dropping that 30 bomb. 1 kill away from it.
1 enemy remaining.
TKZine also hitting the 20 bomb as well as this Neon. Yeah, like I said, going into this next round, there's only really the strongest weapon being the Tour de Force for Fireball Ups, who's staying grouped up with the team this time around.
Cover going out.
Are they going to try to go for a Hunter's Fury? Yeah.
Little protocol there. I like it. Especially with TKZine sliding out, you want to be able to fight that Neon, and then you get a Hunter's Fury in the face. So you're kind of committing in the wrong way to start the playoff. Really cool stuff from Loud.
Lucio doing a little bit of a fireball ups there.
Yeah.
To get the full timing onto C9.
And I think he's got it. The trademark. It'll be... I think he's still got the angle on Zalsis when he gets there. Whoop. Hello. Oh. Goes for the quick ADS. Throws him off just a bit. But it's still 3v3 here. Darker with an ultimate. And it looks like they're just going to hold steady. They won't go for a quick...
I'm loving this.
From the shadows.
They already understood how aggressive the push came out here from Luke Show. And because Fireball has been doing that the whole time, it's the same protocol. They kind of have the stronghold back towards the A side. So they could just full knife out into B for the plant.
Spike planted should be a reset time that you get Fireball to turn around. There it is. And they're going to hold for the front of that site with just Jack watching the back here. Util decently low, but Davi still has a bolt to shoot through when they start to enter the site. Eride is going to try to get to market to get back in, but he's going to have to rush it. Slowly creeping in. A C's locks one of them down. Are they going to wait for each other, or do they keep pushing? The time is dwindling down here. C9 look to keep the map alive. No, Davi takes one out, and we're that much closer to Summit. A kill from Zelsis as well, and C9 find all the members of Loud on their re-entry. We stay on Sunset.
Big fist bumps 2 on a 2 versus 3 converted back for C9, and the lower weapons are the ones that are going to be able to save that round for Cloud9 at the Pulse plant. Again, we saw that idea. As soon as you break that drone on the side of Fireball Ups, the Paranoia and Hunter's Fury came out, but thankfully, the Zelsis is already back all the way towards the spawn where I think that third beam couldn't reach towards him. So he's able to stay alive and just keep the numbers up here for C9 to keep that dream alive when already Luxio had that pineapple call on that big flank.
Yeah.
Should have had more, but you'll count your lucky stars here for C9. Still in this fight, behind by 4. And now still good economy, though, for Loud because of the amount of rounds to be winning here on the defense. Op still available for Luxio to take.
Very confident on taking these peaks. Already racked up 30 kills just on this map and comes up just short of 31 on that as he misses Fireball. It's the rush from C9. These are the strats that they were executing on Haven that worked for them. Everybody all in one through to the site, and it drops Luxio where he stands. Smoke's clearing out the vision here of Loud so they can't get the trades back they want.
It's a spam fest, though, that comes out in favor of C9.
And C9's not in a very good position. Once they get the plant down, they still have to scramble to set up what is a garrison for themselves, and Darker takes advantage of that. 2v3. It looks like they have a bit of a setup here. This looks basically what last round looked like in the same positions for C9 here. Ooh, Oxy trying to hug that wall there and asking for a little bit of help, which pulls out everyone from B main. Oh no, Darker takes one. It's just going to be up to Jack here. One of the newest members. Holds it true. He's been saying he got his. Can he get one more for the round, though, to keep C9 alive versus Darker? And it's not going to happen. Darker gets the kill, gets the defuse, and we're going all the way to Summit.
A nice close in on a 2 versus 3 for Loud to take away their map pick against Haven. A 13-8 for Cloud9 on Haven, a 13-8 for Loud on Sunset. And it will be decided on Summit as a third map tiebreaker. Some great looks, though, from Luxio and TKZ on the Loud camp. And this is looking to continue to build that confidence for them into the third map. There's also Chamber, which, again, we saw some great stuff from Fireball Ups on the previous map. And Luxio's still using that to their strength for Loud on this very map. So for Loud, they haven't really stepped away from their identity from the last 2 maps. They're still playing the double Senti and just sticking to the double Senti identity, which is 2 great Sentinel players as well to use on this map. Trap play set up, though. Contact off the camera to Paranoia and do Teho Util.
Trap indeed, that little triangle formation out there by Cloud9. Boxing in Loud as they try to get into the B site. Still towards the middle. Luxio has a bit of a timing, but Zelsis is aware of something, trying to check these angles. Oh, man.
Okay, well, you can't do these trap plays on anything else but the Cypher, so there's Elise Veer proving me wrong on the outlook that they had for the pistol round dressed up for C9. They still have a great player advantage against Loud, but it's still Luxio who's super dangerous to deal against.
And this is where, in the last 2 maps, C9 has somehow gotten this down to a 2v2, or maybe even a 1v2. They need to just live with 4 here. Find Darker and Luxio and be done with it. I think that's the step up. So they're staying as a ball. There's 1. There's 2. Easy peasy. Cloud9 grabs it. A second pistol round on Summit. Let's go. Things are looking up.
I wonder if we'll get the replay of the reaction of Fireball to call the 2 pistols, but I like the repositioning from C9, though, to group up all the way back towards spawn. The reason why they allow themselves to just stay there after the trip gets broken, as Loud is trying to create a diversion that they're moving in towards the A-Link, is because Fireball Ups is still in his camera. Even if the trip gets broken, he still... There you go, that's 2! But yeah, he still has camera to watch over towards B main and also towards the B-Link, so it was fine for them to let that trip get broken and for them to work back towards that spawn and to get that second pistol.
Loud going straight back to B. Speaking of Jack's Tejo, one of the things I like about Tejo on Summit is everything's, all of these corridors are so tight. Very easy to kind of displace somebody and walk right into it. And C9 more so outside the site here, but they're still getting taken out. Wait, Vance, this shouldn't be happening here. Loud goes in with a basic classic round, and they get Cloud9 swept off their feet.
It's a big mistake by Vic from his positioning there. Never expected for them to wrap around here towards that B site, and boom, he already goes down. And the Bulldog that was picked up by Luxio after they traded onto Fireball Ups towards that B site became a thorn on the side of C9 for that retake. Picked up, what, 2 kills? Now a 3rd.
He doesn't stop. Just from last map to Summit. He does not stop. Luxio putting on just that.
Now, I was saying as a joke on that previous map, but now it's official. It's the first time now as well that C9 gets ecoed after winning a pistol.
Yeah. You're right.
in this stage. And for Fireball's debut, so Romanelli is gonna love that. I love how he's very expressive.
Yeah.
He's like the other side of Alex from Paper X. They're winning rounds, he'll break tables.
All right, so a little bit more of a setup across the map here for Loud as they try to read what C9 might have set up for a bit of eco play. And they're right to wait back. Getting pushed here on the right side extremity. God, he's 2 away from tour de force. 3 rounds in.
You saw here that Oxy was just running down to just try to break that trap set up here by Luke Show. And then it's just easy for him to get that pick.
Teleport's ready.
So now for them to try to at least take down the Outlaw at the beginning of the round for Cloud9. They realize after losing Oxy here that they just have to turtle back and hope for the next wave here that the crossfire is good enough.
So controlled on those angles. Everybody held the corner until Luke Show had the wider angle, then they peek. So coordinated in Loud's movement right now. Darker thinking he actually had the kill there, started to swing off, and Fireball gets that kill. 1 HP to his name. And now they just set up to hold this one. Nice job by Loud to be methodical and just keep on that. Even after Luke Show walks out of the rendezvous area. Just stimming out, keeping himself occupied. They're keeping control in the formation of what is the best to peek every angle. Really neat to see them move around like that.
Meanwhile, Erde is not joking around, though. He's trying to find the last 2 kills. He knows exactly where they're at. They have to try to die to Spike, so as they close that gap on the top of Cave, he could move in for this kill. Fireball is at 1 HP, trying to save the Phantom, but he's going to get hunted down soon.
Quite a bit of distance. I think that might save him here. And they all go the other way. So a Phantom to go into the next round.
I don't know. There's still a Luke Show here that's fairly close.
No.
Oh, too much walking.
Also, figuring out the radius of that on new maps and where they're planting it becomes a thing.
But you're seeing the look here from Loud as well with the Sage and the comp. Very similar to Haven, right? Whenever they're executing the sites, it's even more difficult for C9 to flood back for the fights. As they block off and section the A-site link, they break the door on the top, and then they could take full control of Cave 2.
Yeah.
And then they have full information of C9 attempting to retake or not. And also making it disruptive for forcing C9 to utilize a lot of util before even getting into sites to re-clear that space, which allows the final players to defend that pulse plant inside A to just use duels instead of util.
Flash over for mid. It looks like Loud actually wants to break the center of the map here and separate C9. But they catch a smoke in the face too to slow down the strategy. Not exactly playing a retake on A, but really ready to use that util. Fireball is right in the mix to stop whatever comes his way.
This little mid-round grab that's going to spawn here, the Neon. And by spawning the Neon, you would expect the split to be happening towards the A side because they need them to dive in.
Oh. Honestly, I really favor these little situations where you try to play under util, but Tikazine comes out shoulder clear on that for Fireball, and he can't even use all the util he threw down. The team's in safe, and now a Cave retake becomes the possibility C9 has to use.
That's just so smart from TKZine to slide right into the eyes of Fireball ups. He was set up to think that the Neon's just trying to create some space.
Good clear. They've broken that first choke point. C9 trying to move together here, and Tikazine is still ready to shake everyone's hand on the way in. Just so on the ball. One more. They're going to let him get it. It's going to be the ace for Tikazine.
A huge one for TKZine. I think his first one as well on the VCT stage. Look at that slide right in. You never expect it. It's like playing on the edges of a smoke when you're thinking the players are going to walk forward. You're trying to hold the angle on the side, yet he runs right into them. Chases them all down in individual fights, and that was a C9 fully taken down, forced to go into a half buy with small shields. And to rethink how they want to hold the defensive side because they've been very, very passive down these lines. And you're seeing them trying to explore a little bit more, but as they explore, well, they're running now into a lot of crosshairs, just holding the angles. I think after this round, it's a veer timeout because it's looking desperate this round here, and it's punished in every single lane.
I feel like they're much harder fights to take, especially with the distance. The ability to double swing and double face these angles really lies with Loud. And there again, I mean, you get a trade, but they gain more space. And at these numbers, it's always favoring Loud if you go trade for trade. So they've already done the work, but they continue to go for the firefights. We know them to love that. And it seems to be working out so far. They stay as a death ball as they head towards the right side of the map and should be able to pick up a fourth on this one.
So a lot of respect given here for the side of Loud, despite them having a very strong, comfortable finish on that second map because of the domination of Luxio on that previous round. This time around, it's TKZ creating all that space again, like Haven all over. But they still wanted to walk contact into the A site, guarantee the round in their favor with the power numbers, and also forcing now C9 to have the last two players rotate back and save their weapons.
I think this is so in such a favorable position now onto Summit for Loud. They've such a crash into the site activation once they've gotten to the front here behind TKZ. These pathways up to each site really allow them to funnel each other together before they're even seeing C9. So C9's reactive play has to be either back up or perfect and instant. And that's so hard to play against when you got people like Luxio hitting shots and TKZ causing that much chaos.
Yeah. Not crossing out C9 yet in this matchup,
no
though,
way,
as
no way.
A lot of these matches on Summit have been favoring a lot of attack science. But so far, when it comes to their defense, though, the protocols that they're trying to build up, I don't think is really there yet.
All right, boys, I'm going to give us a little speech here. This is how we wanted to play, so we need to be talking to each other. Like, we need to listen to each other. We need to talk to each other. We need to go for peaks together. If your teammate need to help him, like, this is it.
That's what I wanted to talk about a little bit as well, because you're playing a Senti with a camera. It looked really good for their pistol round, right? When you have Fireball up still having this camera, or it's watching actively towards that B main, or if he sets up towards A, it still covers up a good portion of that map. It locks down like 33% of it. While the rest, I'd like to see a little bit more of util coming out from Zelsis. Early knife, what information to get out of that? If there's nothing, can you take control of that space? Can you start moving forward? If not, do you want to try to challenge a different spot where Loud could be at and you continue to set up trap plays because you have a Teo with you to fight in those angles? Don't give up that space for Loud to take, because if you are giving that up, you see how difficult it is for them to retake the site, because one, they lose their anchors because they're getting run down. Secondly, they have a Sage Wall to deal with on the retakes. And then third, as they're doing all of that, you still have so many good lurks coming out from Loud because you're not contesting on the different lanes on your defensive side.
Yeah.
So you have to clear so many different angles and you're just getting backstabbed or crossfired every single time. So yeah, be more proactive around the map, just like Zelsis is talking about here. And just try to challenge and lock down a little bit more than just a portion of the map from the Cypher Cam.
See if they can strengthen that mental coming into the next few rounds here, get those comms going.
All right, Knife sees a couple. How do you react out of that? Are they going to start to push forward a little bit more? The jiggles are coming out a little bit here from the top middle from Oxy, but unfortunately it still stays pretty static.
It's going to be all playing their life. Using the weapons they have once they can get behind each other here. The Stingers, Phantoms. And everybody towards that top side as the camera is grabbed from Fireball and he heads over as well. Oh my gosh, they're just setting traps everywhere on the side of Loud. A nice relay bolt. They're going to try to keep one in. And he slides right home on that one. Oxy picks up the first kill. C9 looking good to start off the retake. And now they have some time to set up the smokes in the protocol. So they take that time. Shots ring out. Oxy tries to beat the distraction to pull the crosshairs, but Loud is just knocking them down left and right. Fireball in a 1v2.
Has to move quick.
Got so far to go. One more, and it's just going to be a cat and mouse game. A quick peek. Oh, the shot from Fireball! Cleans up the round, and it is very much a round that Cloud9 needed for the mental and to surge back in here on Summit.
A big clutch coming out here from Fireball Ups. Even salvages the off in the next round. C9 were just running into the meat grinder, trying to retake towards that B site. I respect here getting an all command up, because as they drop the first kill onto Darker, you upgrade into another weapon. You have now a null command and so many rifles to work with, but none of the flashes work. Nobody was affected on the side of Loud. They still had the crossfire set up, so you needed this man to step up.
Dang. The Red Bull clutch just in time for C9 here. Veer getting a good success rate out of the timeouts, too.
I mean, grain of salt there. It's all thanks to Fireball. It's the hero of that round.
Yep.
I don't think you're dressing up anything there in terms of, yeah, let's just lose everybody. Now, one guy backstab everyone and clutch it here, but no, now the focus is on this round here. The timeout was for this round where they have the operator that they salvaged from the previous round and also the rifle round for the rest of C9. Are they going to be proactive around the map? Let's see what happens here.
Nice little delay timing. Bits of utility happening around 1 minute, pretty common. As they get a clear towards the right side. No noise following that. Might indicate the left side lean here to Cloud9, and they're ready for it. I think that false Prowler alerted C9 even more to what Loud might be doing, rather. As the noise starts to come back towards the A side, it's going to be a hard anchor this time from C9, not the retake. Fireball's kind of stuck in sight right now. But who's going to be stuck in sight with who? C9 able to get a good few trades in there, but they get rezzed up. And a reset from Loud.
That's just unlucky, too, because Davi had the Nightfall to work with. But we'll talk about that in a second. He attempted the retake for Cloud9. Numbers are dropping down. Fink also takes down Davi.
And another one. It's 2v2 now. Very quick. Spike's not been planted. And now Loud haul ass to the other side of the map here. Coast to coast twice on this one. And they should be able to get it down.
The thing is, it's going to be tough now for C9 to retake. They used all of their util to try to stall towards the A site. Now you have a low HP Vic. You still have a Paranoia available for Darker. So they're hoping here that the full rotate back to spawn is going to catch some players off guard, and they could potentially still maintain a 2 versus 1 on different fights for the retake on this B site.
Is Vic the sentry, or is he the follow-up at 1 HP? Right?
Be the sentry.
He'd be the sentry, the first one in to figure out where they are. Oxy's still got the slide, the fast lane to create the angles that they want, at least for one side of the site if they try to split it here. Straight through the spike. There's one for Oxy. Goes for the slide. He looks to the right. And it's Darker that comes up big with that one to keep Loud.
Yeah, pretty much a full angle rotate that he had to look through, hit both of his fast lanes. You would hope he would have used his slide here to maybe try to stay alive and be lucky on a flick. This was nice. That's what unfortunately doesn't work out here for C9 because of that Nightfall out there from Davi. He's able to throw a haunt. Both of them are hit by the Nightfall. They don't hear where the haunt's going to, so it pings both of them.
Yep.
So as you had a nice little trap set up by Fireballs in the very beginning, it's fully canceled by the util out from Davi, which gives a chance here for Loud to regain control of the A-site fights and to win the 2v2 in the end. Another eco round for Cloud9. Trying to punish here onto Luxo, lurking up.
Always trying to get the last bit out of every play to see if he can't squeeze something out. Love that about Luxo, and they're still going to be pushing forward here for Loud. Into the smokes, gets the heal, just battle heals going forward here as Loud continues to pressure Cloud9, knowing that low buy is amongst their pockets. As Elsis tries to clear the wall, looks like a 6th round here coming in for Loud, and they continue to really just run aggressive strats to test C9.
Yeah, right now it's Data Spike try to do some damage. Right now, Fireball Ups, I don't think that he should save his weapon. He needs to force Loud into more buys round after round so they have a chance. Beautiful flash by Zelsis. Almost doable there, but they did their job on the pulse plant, forcing 2 other rebuys in the next round as they had their own eco. And that's something here that was dressed up by Cloud9 that was unexpected for the side of Loud. Nice little flash that came through towards that door that was popped in the first place.
Cool. These firefights start to look really well. I think C9, when they came into Haven, they starting on defense, as we mentioned before. They had a lot of plans, pushing out mid, pushing through to A, doing that. Now as the series has gone on, Summit might have been in the playbook, but not as thorough as Haven. And we're kind of seeing it now become a firefight where Loud is really able to take over with Luxo and the rest of the squad.
Some heavy damage being done at the earlier this round. Look at Zelsis and Oxy already trying to challenge that line once again over towards A. It wasn't Lucio waiting for them, so thankfully it was not, because that was probably one of those two getting dropped early. But what are we really doing across after? The door gets broken on the top middle, and you're probably seeing the crab. Yeah, there you go. Comes out here from Jack to just re-clear towards the right side of that map. If it doesn't see too much here, this could be a re-walk back into that bend. That's exactly where Ernie is going. So they're going to try to pump fake towards that B side and probably finish towards A if they could cut these rotates.
Oh, they're pulling the spike. They got to be careful where it's going. Back and forth now. C9 starting to read where it's going. Is Loud. Get themselves over towards Pocket to make their way in. Armageddon comes raining down. Erday should be able to make it out as they get through the Cypher trap wires. And we're still waiting for these kills to come through. Right now, everybody just basically on the other side of a wall looking at each other. They just don't know it yet. Loud gets one through Luke's show. C9 is basically trying to hide in plain sight.
So unfortunately, a team flash there from Zelsis too that puts Jack down. They're trying to hold the line towards B. Look at this lurk coming in from Darker, though, denied by Vic.
Great turnaround. Reading a bit of that timing, knowing the round's going too long, and that Sixth Sense comes through. 13 seconds on the clock as it gets down to that boiling point. Up to Davi, fireball again with a snapshot to clean the round up for Cloud9.
Okay, maybe I do like fireball ups on Cypher instead of Chamber so far, but I do like how he's playing it. It's really reminiscent to Scuba, putting a lot of these cages around that map, utilizing that as special and extra obstacles to play around, and also always double tripping towards that site. There's less double one-way cages being thrown up, but he's still, again, because of those trips and playing around those cages, is having great value out of it.
I mean, the fireball 14-4 versus the Luke Show 12-5.
It's been a story for the last two maps.
Yeah, it wasn't the Chamber matchup he's succeeding in. It's that Cypher matchup, interestingly enough. But he's got that late round play style to him that makes him so effective on any of those agents.
Yeah, probably Loud's going to start avoiding that a little bit more. So they're challenging towards the A side first, and Jack is able to open things up quite early. Here comes a walk-in again.
He's pressuring it, trying to walk forward just on the other side of his trips. Oh, tries to clean up the aim there, but Erday's a little bit quicker.
Hey, look at that. That was a lot of whiffs. That's a lot of HP available for Erday still.
Yeah.
When he had a dead to rights. Omshan also missing, so a silver lining gave it a chance here for Loud to play the pulse plant with a player advantage after the plant.
Risky res, it saw the wall getting shot, and he's like, yeah, let's do this. Z9 punish very hard there.
Yeah.
Tavi, little timing, but he alerts them very early to this timing. And it'll all be the firefight as he tries to make it back to a defuse spike from Oxy. Save there. Overdrive up. Operator saved. 3 alive for C9. And it's looking very much like it could be a 6-6 first half.
You saw the small moment of hesitation from Erday, too, after that plan. Should I res that guy or not? Because they're about to break down that wall. So, let's do it. But unfortunately, got collided by Oxy. And that's a nice little start. And that's why, again, to talk about the Senti you posed before, do you like to see a Vines on that map? That position that Jack just got a kill from was such a good position for Cortezia when he was playing that Vice. Because now you're placing Razor Vines at that spot, you're spamming with an Odin, and it's just such a small choke point for players to run through that it's easy to get a lot of smoke kills. Now a combination, a little bit of all of that, gives a chance here for C9 to stay back in this game. A timeout forced from Romanilli. Talk with the rest of his team, and not too sure what they could look into for the last 2 rounds of the half of their attack side. Fireball has definitely been a pain point a little bit more, but at least when we talked about the conversation from Zelsis after, he's like, hey, this is the comp.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, right? The comp we wanted to play, this is how it should look like. At least the proactiveness that they have is just being a little bit more assertive on rotates instead of reacting on the information that they're getting and not getting, right? They're just making sure that they're with each other when it comes down to retaking sites as a team. So I think that's what was talked about during the protocols from Veer to the rest of Cloud9. More than trying to take early space here for their defense.
I think that's the big one too, is that they are going for those fights. I mean, the round after that was Zelsis backing up so they could get the play they wanted, but it's been more aggression, been more taking those fights, and the confidence level does seem to be rising for C9 in those engagements. Just about back into round 11 now after that timeout from Loud. And they will, I was going to say put all their eggs in one basket, but they do split to go towards mid and that A side.
The hunt missing here is going to make it more difficult for Loud to get some early space down towards that A line, but thankfully for the C9 setup, it's a 4-1. All of them focusing on information on a B side, and look at it, now proactiveness is coming. We have an early TP over on the A side because the Crab already puts Oxy down towards his B line. Now here comes the fight for the A denial.
Cave is held by C9 right now. They're actually going to plant deep on their side for Loud.
Is Oxy going to ask for a smoke as well just so he could get through, or is he going to use a fast lane? Yeah, fast lane to get across.
Scoots right by that. Nobody's heard it, and C9's going to wait a little bit for Oxy to make that noise. Luke Show's already thinking about it. He always does. And Loud's now able to focus on the front of the site. That makes it so much more effective for them. A little bit of a look towards Link, but the rest of the members are holding down that choke point that makes it so tough to get back in. They'll even present themselves knowing the time's already gone, and they're just going to make it tougher for C9 to keep these guns.
The 6th sense from Luke Show was huge.
Crazy.
I think it was also C9 stalling a little bit too much towards that cave. They didn't make enough noise here to give a chance for Oxy to really find his timing on that flank. So in the end, it becomes all members of C9 even not able to save their weapons, because look at the positioning also that Loud had on the post plant. 2 players back towards that B link, watching the cave flood back from C9, and they have 4 players pretty much on the crossfire setup. Haunt once again getting a lot of value from Davi.
Last player standing.
C9 missing a little bit more util to really fight back into the A choke.
Man, Luke Show being the lurker, he tenfold knows when the lurker is going to be there on the other side. Like, so many times this series has that made Loud so confident in sight to continue protecting. So we'll see what happens now. Last round of the first half here on our 3rd map, and Oxy starts off C9 on the right foot.
A huge kill as well. But is there no res available for Erde? But they're actually going to try to go very quickly on reaction towards this B site.
Screaming through here. Zelsis just trying to drop breadcrumbs of utility to keep himself alive. He does make it to spawn.
Can't use it.
And now they wait. Still walking in. Loud feels confident this is the site that they want to hit. And all the way around, Fireball is making his flank.
And this time with Luke Show being down, maybe it's not going to be looked at. Fireball has a chance to really flank across here. They're thinking that they have to rotate because of TKZ's position on the top middle. It's Darker that knows.
And he resets right after a smoke there too to get a bit of a swing for himself. Oxy, one of the first ones in. They're going to tap on the spike. That draws the eyes of Loud as well as the firefight. Zelsis on 1. This has happened before. Vic was the one to get the defuse down, and it looks like they're going to be able to stick it one more time. Here in the first half, C9 get up to 5 rounds.
Haven all over again. A flood retake. Null command available to stop the post plant util on top of defusing into the smoke. Chaotic from beginning to the end in terms of these retake battles, these site battles, but Loud still has the lead going into the second half here.
1 half remains between Cloud9 and Loud in this series. We'll have that for you right after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Watch me go, I rise to the top and let them know.
Thank you for joining us and returning, if you are, for the last half of Summit here in this series between Cloud9 and Loud. If you are just joining us, Haven first map for Cloud9 on their pick. Sunset, then to Loud, as they take the map that they chose to bring into competition today. And now we have Summit Decider, which is a 7-5 first half, and C9 look to strike back here. Maybe a third pistol round, if they will. We'll see.
And Cloud9 with a different look too on the attack side, or at least overall on Summit. But I think with this composition here, it shows to me that they're trying to leverage a lot of spam util, just clearing out space with Teho KO, blocking lanes with the Neon and TPing with the Omen just to really get all the space behind the utility. So I'm expecting a lot of chaotic fights from Cloud9 when it comes down to the site execs. Pistol around a little bit less util to work with, and they're making themselves known here by breaking a lot of the blocks towards the A side, or B side.
Fireball star. Oh, okay, good trade. As they seem to just be catching Loud, happy to hold and sit in their positions, thinking there was more backup.
Spike planted.
Should be another pistol round for C9 here as they all gather right into that B lobby area to hang.
Yeah, they have one flash to work with and a triple swing. So you're hoping that the communication is going to be very good on the top of that spike so they could work together here. If not, you have some heavy shooters on Loud to win this. Well, there's the first one down.
The angle on that one wasn't in their favor too much. Flash over the top. Nicely played, but the dash in. TK finds a way. And that is two members of Loud coming back to find all three Cloud9 in B main and strike them down.
Just unfortunate on the setups too. The way that they were setting up the crossfire here from Vic and from Jack, they weren't really able to watch after each other to trade off each other because you're looking at the nature of how the map's laid out, right? There's still that block on that left side. Instead of playing the high-low that they kind of did on the post plan of Loud on this left side of that B line, that probably would have given you a lot of value on the pop flash for the reswing, which, by the way, ended up being another team flash from Zelsis. Unfortunately, not necessarily blaming Zelsis in that moment. It's maybe even an earlier swing from Jack before they really came out for the fight. And those shooters, they came to shine here for Luxio and TKZ. A pistol on their side, and greatening the lead now by 3.
All right, they know somebody's at least looking down main. They force themselves into the left side of the site, but they don't know what's on the backside. They don't really have the coverage to get a safe plant here, so they have to keep pushing through. This is where it gets a little dangerous now, and they don't have the coverage to do it. C9 going down left and right, and even trying to squeeze a spike in for a second round plant is not on the menu. Okay, Fireball. Few good shots there to get his, but Davi ends that round.
Yeah, and that was a forced buy.
Yep.
From C9 denied as well, so that's going to put them into another eco here with no plant. Less money to work with, and if you're looking right now at the current investment, as we move in here to the next round, seems to be a little bit more of a buy coming in still for C9.
Last player standing.
I think because of the nature of how it ended that round, it was a 2 versus 1 in the end, so the guns that they carry into the next round shouldn't be technically as strong for Loud, but they have the Outlaw to work with.
Yeah, Stinger's there. A few of them just near 1,000. They'll get 2,900 for another loss, so should be easy buy if they don't go away with a win here.
Yeah, but that means C9's using the theory of the half armor buy a lot.
That's true. You get punished here. Oh,
By
it
exactly
is
that
punished
weapon.
there. And that's the run-in. Zelsis is just going to be reloading, and this is the swarm game from Loud right now to know they can run Cloud9 down.
And you instantly gave Luxio a total false in this round as well. So you could save into the Outlaw, and like I said, going into this buy, okay, well, at least 3 of them could still get full shields, but Jack and Vic are definitely at the mercy of the chamber on the side of Loud.
Yeah.
You're seeing what they're trying to do here on their attack side now compared to the last time when they played against Sentinels. They were playing double controller at first, where you know, you could split off and slice off a lot of the map. We'll hold that thought for a bit, though. There's a trap play attempted by Loud just to take full control of the B main. Fireball gets the dink and at least takes down TKZ.
Great second read.
Ooh.
Oxy with one. They have to keep this pace going. This is where they keep Loud on their heels, and it's hard to reset. 4 members already through for C9. A look from Fireball Ops to catch Davi off, and it is going to be the play, the read around the map for C9 on this one.
I was going to say a little bit lucky, I got to say, for Cloud9, not going to lie. Because after that nice pick coming in from Fireball Ops, he throws the ult out to get information for the team. Yet they're like, oh, let's just rush into the site towards A. Thankfully, they had power of numbers to be able to win their gunfights and also not losing too many players in the process. So they were able to secure the information on Darker of where he's repositioning to on the Pulse plant, and C9 end up having a pretty decent, clean attack round in round 16.
But they got to do it again and again and again here when Loud has just been so aggressive. The Fireball has had a fantastic game. Him and Luke Shaw going back and forth.
I just wanted to point out on that replay that we saw here, so we had salvos being thrown by the side of
C9.
Jack, and also the molly by Zelsis at the same time. So there's a lack of coordination of what type of util, who's using what yet. So there is still, I'd like to say, a lot of commotion, should I say, in the comms potentially here from just looking at the util that's redundant in terms of how they're scaling towards these sites.
Expect to get that wall out around where they actually don't have a lurk for C9. Everybody's on board with just getting into the site. A second slow from Erede. Oxy's gonna try and walk right past that, cleans up the site and is ready for more as they start to gain a lot of space for this plant here. But again, not getting to the back. Still feels safe now that they have the angles, though.
That's just C9 playing with good disrespect.
Yeah.
I mean, he just ran through the slow ward. Here comes the fight retake from Loud, though.
Good.
Big
Oh
hunt.
my God, that was huge. Still have to execute on the attack, and C9's gonna have the aim to do just that. 7 to 10 now as they creep ever closer to that scoreline of 10.
Yeah. So they have little pieces of utility that first lane covers up that front B site, and like I said, disrespecting the slow orb, running through and catching opponents off guard because now you're flashing from Vic to give that space for Oxy to take.
Great round. Nice try from them.
Wow. The vibes are still up here, and Fireball Ops currently at 21 kills.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Feeling very confident this game, and we'll probably see more from him as C9 continue to go with that death ball. Well, Armageddon to create some space, but the fight's going to be on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Jack gets darker, and it is going to be Loud trying to present themselves right up front on this. C9 continue to lock him down. Nobody went into the site though. Zelsis was the first one to find TKZ. They're still clean enough to clean it up. Vic as well on the last frag. Team Ace on that one, as C9 is definitely playing more together on these rounds.
Yeah, and Darker couldn't even play a game in that previous round, having to avoid the Armageddon, but on top of that, I'm pretty sure in the cages, he had to avoid more util, like a molly, I think, from Zelsis at the entrance of the A main.
He got exploded.
Yeah, let's see over here. It's a stun.
Bonk.
Salvo's on top of that. Where can you go? Let me TP right into the Armageddon.
Oh.
So yeah, great utility usage there. It was a big ult round for C9 to take against the Eco from the side of Loud, but as we mentioned before, this is a map here that favors a lot of attack rounds. We're starting to see here that Cloud9 are also having their own similar death ball style that Loud has, just with different looks because of the util, because of the composition, but it's working out.
And I want to bring it back around to Fireball Ops for a second, because this kind of game, you talked about it as tier 2 play and being known for his chamber and crushing, but coming into tier 1, you always hope to have those games, always hope to be able to show. This whole series, he has proved to himself that he can perform at this level against some of the best. And right now, very much so, taking on Luke Shaw and his chamber, but now verse with his Cypher. So incredible to see. It doesn't really change for him from agent to agent. He'll still bring that mechanical skill and has hell of a firepower behind him.
Yeah, you could almost start putting Fireball Ops with the way that he's playing potentially soon in the conversation of how Les currently plays, Cryo currently plays as a Cypher as well for a lot of these teams, and that has also been an anchor role literally for those organizations,
It's not
right?
provided utility kills. It's situations he has to find it.
Find your 1v1s, find those fights, win your duels. And Fireballs has been doing that in spades.
See if they can find a few more here. Oxy's going to be the distraction, so those duels can be found across the map. They've already split for that mid timing. It looks like they're just trying to cause trouble and make a ruse over at A.
See, look at him finding his timing right now. So yeah, they're going to realize this wall up, and there's 3 players here. Nice little peek out by Luke Show, though.
It's still Luke Show on the other side, as much as we talk about Fireball in this series. That was a snapshot, if you ever saw one. Back towards A, though. Every time C9 loses someone, it seems to be the go button, and it has played out in their favor.
But can they survive in this chaos right now? Because they all went through the A link to plant towards A. They have no information towards A main. They don't know where the rotate's going to be coming from Loud.
Who's going to start watching Cave?
Hey, look at them position themselves right now, too. Right, so.
They just get out of knife. Still slow. A great little pop flash there to slow down the retake. Still enough time to get to the spike and take the fights, but Oxy's going to get 2 quick ones. They're trading too much, though. Without C9 being able to get back, the res comes through, and this is a tough one to take. Loud swarm the site, and C9 do not have the answer.
Yeah. So what do we want to do here with the pop flash? Yeah, it's a beautiful one to stall, but it just, that's exactly all it did. It stalled. And then you encroached here, you're closing that gap for Loud. Isolated one fight onto Zelsis solo. He dies. Oxy, yeah, thankfully gets 2 kills. But everybody else is still focused on holding different angles, still having to watch that flank in case somebody was there. So it kind of became 4 players isolated in different angles for the side of C9 that just got ran over by Loud on the retake.
So they looked for a peek, but weren't fully committing to the peek after the pop flash. And that's where Loud really is just like, okay, I'm not flash anymore. Everyone's swinging. Yeah. The ideas are there. It's just a few more kind of bits of execution need to be layered in. Fast round here from C9 going through. Oh my God. Head on a swivel for Darker and TK in the sight. That, I'm kind of flabbergasted there at the speed of reaction by Loud. And C9 not even be able to get a kill.
Yeah. You threw double cages too on your exec on the side of Fireball up so you could just try to fight within this courtyard. And unfortunately here, it's just some nasty shots coming out from Loud. Very nice look here for Loud on the defense. Finally finding their footing. Since the timeout from the side of Romanilli, they're finding some a little bit of room to fight back. It's not really set up on how they're doing any trap plays or anything either. It's just them finding some great positionings. Just instilling that confidence that could finish this series. And as once again Veer mentioned in the conversation with Liz, the job's not done after winning that first map. And now he has the challenge to call out this timeout and hopefully be the right timeout so that C9 could pull back into the retake and the comeback to force us into OT. He's nervous in these games. You even see when he's trying to hit that button, his hands shaking.
He believes in the team, but he also believes in the, there's no way we do it again, right? Yeah. Can it happen again? C9's going to come up with something, right? There's that inkling there. But he's got to be so proud seeing the team be able to collect round after round here, even after C9 being able to grab a few of their own. Now on full match point, Loud looks to close it out, and Veer has one last chat with the team.
That's right. So they need 4 rounds now to force this into overtime. Like I said, a big challenge coming out here for the first time, head coach slot of Coach Veer. But we gotta praise on the other side more than anything else here on the resilience of Loud. After coming back here in the second map, on their map pick, looking very dominant off the back of Luke Show. They're still leveraging the firepower of that op and that role of a chamber for Luke Show. Their identity seems to be defined by the double senti role so far. And you would think here in the past for Loud, you would always say, oh man, they're missing so much util to give some opportunities for Vuri to really open up here sites for the team for Loud. But man, TikiZine's doing an excellent job solo without any real util to help him out to just win some fights. Get your one, let the rest do the job because you have amazing firepower across the board for Loud to just make sure that they win on even scenarios, disadvantageous scenarios on the side of Loud. And now just looking to close the series.
Cloud9, after this call, look for a cross-map strategy, disperse the members of Loud, and it works to take down Darker. Clearing into the site was kind of the problem here last time. Too many members of Loud were just able to crash in and clear out from Cave. Are they going to move forward? No, they're actually just going to hide out. Just outside sight, Vic with 1. Great util to stall it coming back in, coming from Ben. It's not going to be really a timing they have to worry about. Davi gets a headshot though, scattering a bit of C9. Have to be confident in their positions here. They're slowly getting pushed back out of the site. Kill after kill. Luke Show gets another one. They find Vic, and now it's going to be a hit. No, Celsius stays alive. 5 HP, and the shot from Davi is going to be enough. Defuse, though. He's got to get to the defuse.
Celsius is praying right now.
Oh,
You see
God.
him
He's going to be
closing,
0.0 something if he's got it. And it's going to be 2-5. No, he's got enough time. Not even close, baby. Loud take Summit. Loud take the series.
Heartbreaking loss there for Cloud9. They looked so good on their first map in the opener. Revitalizing, going back to some comfort pace, going back to the old school style of the double controller on Haven. Sticking into the comfort roles of the second map and putting huge numbers onto the chamber with Fireballas, with a third map going into Map Theory with this composition. This new composition for C9 was just not enough. But Loud coming back here with resurgence in terms of their identity since Davi, since TKZine. And they're looking once again to be one of the dark horses of the Americas to potentially have a deep run here into the play-ins.